There is no here. That's right. I'll say it over the recording. I don't care. That's right.
We're on camera.
Whoa, Gorilla Banter podcast.
For the second time today.
Oh, yeah. A little technical glitch. Someone may have seen it. There was a couple of viewers on it. I apologize. Brock Washington.
I'm Dylan Fraley.
I'm Matt Alton.
And this is Mr. Jerry Cooper.
Jay.
Hello.
What'd it say?
A little deja vu there, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like this happened before.
It did.
False start. Ah, that's a football term.
It is.
It's a football term. Yes.
My God.
Should not be worth 10 yards.
I agree.
That is ridiculous.
I agree.
The false start penalty being for 10 yards because an offensive lineman flinched. I mean, it's one thing if it's egregious. It's one thing, but sometimes the guy's butt drops, okay? It just, 10 yards, really?
It's,
Give me the white guy impression.
We need the white guy impression.
God damn. That's some bullshit, boy. God damn.
That's what the false start is right there.
Bullshit.
Only took us 16 episodes. First black guest.
No, more.
More?
This is 19.
This is 19.
19 episodes in 200 years.
Yeah.
Oof.
Hey, man. I accept it.
We lost that one old white guy that was pretty sure we'd never have a colored man in studio.
They didn't know me very well.
Sucks to be you, guy.
So you're a football coach at Riser Middle School.
Yes, sir.
I went to Riser Middle School.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
You got black friends.
Well, that's what I try to tell people. I try to explain to people I was raised a minority, and they don't. You know, they're like, "Whatever, you're crazy." I'm like, "No, you don't understand."
I still won't let that fly.
I was the minority, you know, but there was like three of us, three white guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But whatever.
So you were the white speck in the chicken shit?
Oh, that was so racist.
Old ass joke. It's an old ass
Jay
joke.
did-
I wasn't even ready for that one.
Jay's
So impressed right now.
That's how you know Matt.
You gotta warm up to shit like that.
That's how you know Matt went to
Nah,
West
nah,
Washita. That's how you know he went to West Washita.
Oh, no, that was from LaSalle.
That was from what?
LaSalle.
LaSalle Parish?
LaSalle Parish.
Oh,
You want to
that's
talk
even
about
worse.
racist.
Oh, yeah. I've
Man,
heard stories.
I hate
bad.
I hate that we're gonna go so deep into it, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw my wife out there. She told me about all the friends she made at her new school. All black teachers.
Yep.
She said she gets along with all the black teachers.
Hey.
She said those are her best
Hey,
friends.
Probably better
Let me tell
personalities.
you why, though.
Why?
Because most of them came from Washita Junior High.
Yeah.
They switched over from Washita Junior High to come to
East Washita.
East Washita.
Okay.
Okay.
But
There we
Because
why?
they had to cut down because
But why does she get along with the black teachers and not as much as the white teachers?
Because she's brown.
Well, she's
Probably,
not brown.
You know what? She passes for whiter
She does.
than Dylan
Until-
until she talks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you realize she's Hispanic, and she says the black teachers. She said they're so nice and
Yeah.
they're so sweet to
Way
me.
better personalities, probably. Way nicer, probably way more cordial.
Because most black people are willing to accept quicker than whites. I mean,
yeah.
no
No.
offense. I mean,
We're with
Jay's
you.
like shit. Oh,
But-
wait.
No, it's absolutely
absolutely.
it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you're more willing
I'm an
to
asshole.
accept. You know what I mean? Like me
Yeah.
personally, I go up to anybody. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I got white friends, and they're like, "Hey man, let's go over there." I don't know, bro.
That's a little different. It's a little different over there. She said they're trying to get her to go to church with them.
That would be experience.
Yeah.
Like probably used to get out at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
o'clock.
Like,
Yeah, you
I
better
mean,
put that roast on low.
oh yeah, get home and still not done.
That's hilarious.
Good luck getting home before the Catholics.
Yeah.
Yeah, she know that's another thing. She told me like a big culture shock here is how, and you think
There's not a
being
lot of
from
Catholic
being from El
churches.
Paso, being from New Mexico, like okay, the Catholic influence in Hispanic culture, like okay, extremely Christian. She said is way more here. Like there's on the tentative roster of things to do on teacher in service. Like we open up with our morning prayer, we do this. We have our lunch and our blessing, and then we do this, and then we have our prayer before we leave. She's like, I've never seen that in my life. And I was like, welcome to the Bible Belt.
Separation of church and state.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's
shit.
like, we pray all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, welcome here.
Yeah.
But back to the Catholic thing, I didn't realize how like much Catholic
Catholicism.
Catholicism,
Yeah.
how much they have to
Catechism,
study.
whatever.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I just fixed Brock on a word.
Yeah, you
10
did.
points.
I saw the word in my head and I read it rather than. Absolutely. Look at you. But yeah, Catholicism.
I didn't realize how much they have to study.
They go to school.
I know.
Sunday school
Yeah.
is school.
Like,
it's real. It's real.
It's I mean, hey.
Like, they have to take tests and everything. It's
Yeah.
I didn't realize it.
If you're gonna, at least if you walk away from the Catholic religion or stick to it, you at least can say, I know it. Versus there's a lot of Protestant religions that people grow up in their whole lives.
Southern Baptist.
Yeah, they don't really know. They just listen to what the preacher man says and they walk away from it.
And that's how you play with snakes.
100%.
And then they turn 40, finally look at their own souls for once and go, wait, I believe in what?
Yeah.
So, all right. So you're a football coach, and what grade does a lot of your kids play football at?
Oh, well, we 6th, 7th, and 8th.
6th, 7th, and 8th. Now that's full tackle at that point, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
That's
You start tackling. They have tackle 1 and tackle 2, and that's like 9, I think.
Mm-hmm. Start the brain injuries early.
Yeah, 4th and 5th, right?
Yeah.
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 Start the brain injuries early. See, Dylan?
Yeah.
You didn't start
Did
getting
you
kicked
see
in the
the-
head until you were full grown.
No, did you see the new study that came out?
Oh, yeah. 111 out of 112.
And
or
only
100.
one didn't have CTE symptoms.
There was like
Yeah.
110.
I mean,
Out of 111
slow
or
down
something
though.
like that.
We're obviously talking about like professional full-time.
They said
no,
at
no,
any
no.
level.
They went at every level.
They
Any
said
level.
at any level.
They found a wide range of people that died at a wide range of ages, and junior high, high school, college, and pros. Like this was a multiple year study, and like say a high school student dies
You know,
or whatever.
as a martial artist, like looking at all these statistics, what I have to do is just cut my brain off for a second and let all of it go over my head, and
Right.
then cut the switch back on.
Cut it back on.
I try
Well,
not to think
the thing,
about that.
I actually think football players probably
Oh yeah.
suffer more concussions.
because it's
'cause
multiple little things that you do.
It's also that, but what do you tell them? Like what do they get told a lot of times if they get just nailed? Shake it off.
Shake it
Oh,
off.
yeah.
Shake it off.
I mean, a lot of it is though. This is me, and it could be biased because I love the game so much, but like you know what you're signing up for when you go in to
That's
play.
the
when
number
you
one
play
thing.
the game.
Okay, but does a 6th grader know what they're signing up for?
No, that's why we're extremely careful with the 6th graders. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you 7th or 8th grader? Nah, not
No.
today.
No, I'm
Sixth
just
grader
saying that
needs
age.
some guidance.
by when you get to 7th grade, like I mean, we're not as strict on how, like we teach form tackling all day, every day. You know what I mean? And they coming up with so many different things. Like our helmets they take our helmets and they check everything. You know what I mean? Like even at this level, you know what I mean? Everything is checked. You're not going in with stones unturned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Except for the inflation of the football.
yeah.
I just had to pull an old one
Oh
out.
yeah, that was a good one.
Sorry.
But
You sound like me. Like throwing just a random like football. Like
That
I
was
know
a-
football too. That's
No, I
something
mean-
I do.
That may have been the greatest story ever, right? Of that. They
Deflate
suspend a
game.
guy, hurt his career stats. I mean, 4-game suspension is like it's a fourth of the season.
Yeah, I
really,
mean-
it's literally a fourth of the season.
when you look at it like that, Tom Brady probably averaged about 300 yards a game. So you look at 4 games,
Yeah, I mean, this
and
is
300 yards a
1,200
game.
yards.
and so he still comes back to prove himself to be the greatest of all time with even extra scrutiny on top of the extra scrutiny from things like the Spygate and crap like that. I mean, at what point is it just back off, dude? Y'all can't get him.
Well,
Bill Belichick's a genius.
that's what it boils down to because that system is easy as hell to master. I mean, just look at the quarterbacks that done played in and then went elsewhere and didn't succeed.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I tell people is it's not. I'm not a big fan of the New England Patriots. I'm a big fan of Bill Belichick though because it's obvious that he can take an average player, figure out what they're good at, and make them succeed.
And
He
this-
can make them succeed.
Like, that's any sport, though. You got to learn your players before you can throw them in there. Like, if you don't know what kind of athlete you have, how you know what you're teaching them. Like I tell my running backs, I'm a running back coach. Hey man, we're gonna figure out what you're good at and what you're not good at, and we're gonna go off that. I mean, that's any sport though.
It's basically just playing to your strengths, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone could have taught Ricky Williams to run like Ricky Williams.
Yeah, I mean,
and no one can teach
Troy Polamalu.
No, the Steelers running back.
Le'Veon Bell.
For some reason, I won't say Ball because of LeVar Ball. That dude needs to get out of my news feed. But, yeah, Bell. I mean, no one can run like that. No one runs. No one. I don't know of anyone in all the history of running backs that runs like he runs.
Yeah.
And he's extremely successful. Runs straight up and down. Looks like he's jogging.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing, though,
Ridiculous.
is somebody allow him to be him.
Right.
I mean, you can't as coaches, sometimes we go and overthink it and try to change too much of a person's game. Just think about a shooter. Come in, somebody shoot basketball. If his form is not right, most coaches are going to try to change it. I don't believe you should do that because you've been shooting like that your whole life.
At what point? Yeah, that's what I was.
As long as you're sinking them, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to make adjustments because you want the release to be quicker or something like that, but don't change everything because you're making them start from scratch. And that's what a lot of coaches do to ruin players, in my view, because you try to change everything they always done. You know what I mean?
So I got a question, and it's something that I was looking at a long time. What do you think about Cam Newton and his whole fiasco with the getting? You're not supposed to nail the quarterback.
Oh, you know, Cam Newton's such an interesting.
Like I at first I thought he was just being whiny, and then I saw him getting hit, and I saw videos of other quarterbacks
And
getting
them throwing
hit,
flags.
and they are hitting him harder.
Oh, yeah.
like way harder.
I mean,
For one thing, he's a monster.
I mean, yeah, he's a huge quarterback, and that's what people say. Well, he's so big.
but
That's the rules.
I don't think if that's the case, then rules should be different for every.
Yes.
Every.
You're right. You can't
You
make
know
the
what I mean?
exception.
Right.
Just like if an offensive lineman is like extremely big, then we sit there and look at him like, well, he should be at the flint sometimes. I mean, he got to hold that weight up, so we're gonna let him slide. They don't do that for that, so why make changes just because he's a big quarterback? Quarterback's quarterback. Okay, how big he is.
So what was the rule about nailing the quarterback anyway? I mean, why was that a?
You can't nail him while he's in the air. That was
Well,
one thing, right?
I don't really understand the rule itself.
And then you can't hit below the knee.
Yeah, and then if they're in the pocket, then you know what I mean, they're protected. But the moment they step outside, see, that's the big thing with
They become a
running
runner.
quarterbacks. You're a runner. So they look at him and say, well, he's out of the pocket. A lot of times the pocket is so big for quarterbacks a lot of times that like some of his hits, he's still be in the pocket.
Yeah, and that's the thing because modern offensive linemen purposely break out. Like the tackles on the outside will purposely pull to the sides. That way that pocket's bigger.
Right.
That way they're not a running quarterback, technically.
Right.
And so until he breaks out of that pocket, he is considered a quarterback. Now, the moment he comes out of the pocket, he becomes a running back. And when he becomes a running back, you can maul him.
Yeah.
You can
Right.
I mean,
just destroy him, but
see,
he's getting hit inside the pocket.
in the pocket
Right.
and getting killed.
So what? I mean, what's the? Why do they keep just?
I mean, I know what happens is
Why
because
don't they throw
officials are
the flag,
humans.
They overlooking it because
Yeah.
he's big. I mean,
Is that
look-
okay? So it is because he's big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
officials
okay.
overlook it.
He's 6'6", 250
I
pounds.
mean, he's huge.
They run 4.5 and 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at somebody like them, like, I mean, that's not gonna hurt him. I mean, refs don't. They just see it because, like, 9 times out of 10, when he get hit, he break way more tackles than he get hit.
Yeah, then
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
and that's the thing of it. I mean, Drew Brees gets hit,
And it
Drew
looks
Brees goes
hard.
down. It looks hard.
Yeah,
Bam.
but I don't understand why the rule was made in the first place.
To protect your $100 million asset.
So okay, so it was okay.
yeah.
It was just because quarterbacks
Yeah,
were getting
yeah,
injured.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it. You don't have a quarterback, you don't have a team.
That
Right.
rule got strict at the same time we cracked down on bounties.
Well, it
On what?
really got strict when for Tom Brady, I think his second year in the league.
Oh,
maybe.
that knee bend.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
ooh.
That next year they boom.
Yeah,
They
he got hit in the
started.
knee, and his knee went the
Let's-
other
Nope.
way.
Let's go back to bounties because Matt asked.
Oh,
a good
you don't
question.
remember? You don't remember the Saints?
bounty
I mean, you
the
don't
Saints
know.
bounty.
Do you know? Do you know? Okay, we don't know what they
There
are.
was a defensive
Teach us how to football.
You can probably talk it better than I
Alright.
can.
Bounties were the Saints and the year we won the Super Bowl, Greg Williams, our defensive coordinator, was paying players to take players out.
Oh.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Dylan's the number one running back on this team. He comes to me, hey, Jerry, if Dylan gets to the outside and you get a shot, take it.
Right, and you're not going to be the first string offensive linebacker. I'm going to go to the second string guy that comes in on third downs.
I'm third down outside linebacker.
A whole lot of sweep the knee shit going on.
And if Dylan comes, I don't care if he out of bounds. I want you to take his head off, and I got $10,000 waiting for you in the locker room.
Yeah, it's worth the $5,000 penalty you might get.
Yeah, it's gonna be like he's gonna be out of 15 because he's gonna pay your penalty and pay you 10.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, look at we killed Brett Favre in that game.
Yeah.
That, NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Murked him.
We took out Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner retired right after the game. I mean, took him out. Matter of fact, that was our third string D tackle. Caught an interception on return. He was coming to try to push him out of bounds. Took him out.
See what I'm saying? And this was they got busted because of recorded conversations. Mm-hmm. Like, recorded conversations came to light.
And that was some eerie shit to listen to.
Well, that was the reason Sean Payton got suspended for a year.
Yeah.
The head coach was suspended for a year.
I still bet that was just some really eerie shit to listen to.
Man, what?
But, I mean, that's and this is bringing back something that used to happen, you know, in the 60s and 70s. It was a well-known thing that there were hitmen. There were guys that were tough as crap. They weren't great athletes, but they were really strong tacklers. So what you do is you put him in on that important down and just maul the guy whenever and it'd be late hits. It'd be, you know, and that's the other thing, standing tackles. I stand him up. I'm going to hit him and stand him up. Then you come in and just fold him,
what?
break him.
That's super fucked up.
Oh, man.
But it can happen. And these athletes know how to make it happen because they've been doing it
for so long.
You can see, especially running backs, you can see when the defense is standing a guy up so that the other two guys can plow into him before they knock him over.
Just think about it. If you third string on the depth chart, you probably your contract is probably for the entire season $300,000.
If it's an important position. No. I mean, you're saying. I mean, some of these are like $100,000 positions.
Yeah. So just think about that.
Football just got a lot scarier to me.
And you're making $100,000, but your best buddy that you work with every day makes $1.5 million. So there's also an issue
your game check is 1.5.
So you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? He's got a Ferrari, nice house. You're his buddy, but yet, bro, I can't go eat.
I watched a documentary about that.
Yeah,
that was really interesting.
Yeah. And these guys have other jobs because in the off season he don't have a steady income, and if he don't plan it out and things like that, man,
you don't get paid in the off season.
No.
Once season over, you get your last check.
And it's only most of the time, if you're a third string guy, you only get 1-2-year contracts. You don't know what you're going to do in 2 years.
Isn't there something strange about the way they set the contract up where it's not actually their money somehow? I can't remember.
Yeah. I just can't help but think about all the guys that came home from a deployment broke.
Yeah.
Like I know
same things.
I know the money from deployment was much less than these $100,000, tremendously less. But it's like I came home set. I came home super set. It's like it drives me crazy to see just regular Joes or higher enlisted to all the way to professional athletes. Like I can't understand people not managing to live within their means.
Because after $75,000 a year, money don't matter anymore.
What about less than that? Because
then money can buy happiness to a degree.
Not buy happiness, but I mean,
no, it can buy happiness.
No, 75 was when did they say that was the magic number? 2015?
Yeah, inflation hasn't changed it that much.
Yeah, that was the
in 2015 there was a huge study done talking about can money buy happiness. And at $75,000,
it stops mattering.
It don't matter anymore. You can't. What are you buying? A bigger house, newer car?
Right. Then after that,
that's why I don't.
Then you got more problems than you have.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand where you say, well, these guys have no other income on the off season. You just made $300,000.
Yeah, but they blew it on a watch.
But no, it's not so much as that. It's not so much as that. You got to pay all these people. You have
you got to pay your accountant.
You got to pay your agent, your accountant. I mean, that's 10.
That's bills. You factor those into your income.
But they're huge swaths. Your manager gets 10%, bro.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, and I know a lot of people can look at where I will. So you never made that money, so you don't understand. I see it at the same thing on my level. Like just the 30,000, 40,000 people made going overseas, still coming back broke.
Yeah.
Dylan,
like,
you're also a
how do
minimalist.
you make this happen? Like,
Because
Dylan, you're a minimalist.
I mean, that's true.
And you will delay gratification
Yeah.
for a long time.
Because
Like, you are the extreme of culture now.
Because Dylan, you think like me. Like I'm okay with. I don't have to have expensive clothes and shoes and things of that nature. I own earrings that didn't cost $40 maybe. I mean, I don't have jewelry, and that's where a lot of people go and spend their money on jewelry, clothes, things of that nature.
Everybody, you're right. And now we get into a moral dilemma that stretches across, and I'm
Millennia.
chasing my own fucking tail in this conversation.
Millennia.
Yeah, I
All
mean,
right. That's
Yeah,
it.
you'll dive off into philosophy
Yeah,
if you're not careful.
I mean, no,
I'm done
you're right
complaining.
there on it, actually.
I'm
you
done
know, so-
complaining.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're walking on the razor.
I'm done complaining.
Well, that's just it. Most people aren't. All right, I'll leave that alone.
yeah.
I don't
It's
think
so
you wanna
it's
dive
so
into
easy
that.
to say what you would do with that money, but once it get in your hands, like you instantly want to live better. Like you got.
Well, you know what? That's the same thing that every financial advisor in the military has told me my entire career. Because believe it or not, the Army's smart. They know how freaking stupid people are.
Yeah.
So they put all these roadblocks and all these people you have to talk to and counsel you and tell you, all right, hey, look, Joe Snuffy, you're about to get this check. You're about to
Hey.
get this check, and I want you to know.
We
whenever
demob with
Yeah.
a financial advisor.
Yes, we
Hey,
demobbed
bro.
and mobbed with it. Hang on, I'm not done.
You go ahead.
So
I'm just gonna point something out.
all
there.
these people come in there, and everybody says, okay, I know I said I was done complaining. and you tell everybody, it's like, no, you don't know because you don't have it. And I'm like, trust me, I know. And they're like, no, you don't know. Listen, you're going to have this, you're going to have this. I want you to do this. You need to have a plan. You need to have it written out. You need to do this. And it's like they waste all my time because I knew exactly what I was going to do. And then I stuck to that plan. And everyone else that said, yeah, I got it, they went home and bought a new car, and now they're fucking broke.
Hey, how old are you?
22.
22. You're way more mature than your average 22-year-old
Now-
person.
Catch this. Go. You know what? Go ahead, Matt. You held.
So I just want to point out that me and Brock led Dylan to the hole, pointed it at him,
He just
like grabbed his head, looked at it,
dove
and said,
right in.
"Don't go in that hole." And Dylan still walked off in the fucking hole
Because Dylan, he will take that
because
dive.
he just wants to climb out of the motherfucker.
Yeah,
Dylan,
oh, yeah.
when did you want to become an MMA guy?
Whenever I was 14.
Ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
And he don't know. He doesn't. I don't think he understands how ridiculous it is to have a dream and that dream not change. Nothing stops you. Nothing diverts. Everything lines up to continue making that dream. Admit it. You've had
I
some
mean,
breaks toward
Yeah,
it.
it shifted a lot. Like, I mean, that was always the end goal, but it was like there was a lot of the approach changed constantly.
But you still went toward the objective.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, it had to change, though.
yeah.
And that's what make you, because you saw something that you wanted and you continue to chase it. Some people don't think like that. Most people look at jobs and things they want to do just for money.
Yeah.
You looked at it as something
Good
that,
luck with that in
but
MMA.
but I'm just saying, you looked at it as something that this is what I want. Like most people, they only
'Cause
way
money
out.
can't buy that.
Yeah, most people only way out is sports. So they look at it and say, my only way out of this is for me to
Especially-
make it to the NBA or the NFL. So when they get there, that's what they wanted. They wanted to get there for this money.
Especially for the African American culture. It feels like
It feel like that's the only way out. Because,
Man.
like,
That's really true, especially because at Tech, there's a couple of those black guys up there that they're sitting there telling me like, man, I got to get into the NFL and all this and that. I'm just sitting there thinking like,
your chances are so
they're
slim.
so slim. They're
slim.
looking at everyone, man,
and like,
and
cra-
it's sad.
and it's sad, but this is what we bring our kids up to believe. And it's not just African American; it's middle class.
Oh, yeah,
and lower.
Yeah, middle and lower is the
Because
issue.
of the simple fact of the matter is that you see all these people that's in higher class and say, you know what, I'm trying to get there. How do I get there? The last thing you think about is school.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you have a kid, first thing you think about is I'm getting my kid prepared for the next level, and then I'm getting my kid prepared for the next level. It's never I'm getting my kid prepared for school. You know what I mean?
But I'm trying not to dive off, but it's all wretched and no vomit a lot with the way society's set up and the let's get ready for this and get ready for this so we can get ready for this so you can get this job so you can get this retirement so you
Well, I mean, how many times?
and that's what everybody chases, that nobody really lives for the moment in a lot of ways. And if you live for the moment properly, you can live for the future.
You can only live for the moment, though, if you have a clear, higher objective. If you know where you're going, and you can only do that once you know where you're going. Can you start? Okay, now that I know where I'm going, and now I know my path to get there, I'm going to live in this moment. That way, I can ensure that I get there. You know, I mean, Matt's sitting here talking about guys that are at Tech, one of the #1 engineering schools in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
And these guys are worried about their football NFL career.
Right.
Now, football got you to college. Bro, that's the golden ticket.
Hey,
Is it?
I tell my eighth
Engineering's
graders.
never going
Well,
away.
I tell my eighth graders this.
Okay,
right
all
here.
right. You said college, and I thought
This-
college. Whenever you said it's the golden ticket,
I tell eighth graders this because that's where it starts. By the time you get to eighth grade, you better start figuring out some stuff. I tell them all the time. Worst case scenario, football can pay your way to school. Worst case scenario, if you go on the field, you do what you're supposed to do. You work hard and do what you need to do in the classroom. Worst case scenario, it can pay your way to school. Best case scenario, you can go to college, to a good school, and end up in the NFL.
The thing that they have to watch out for whenever they go to college, though, is whenever the coaches start like trying to make them pick majors they don't want, like
Easy majors.
Yeah, easy ones like you got to do like business or like social science and just whatever.
That happens in high school too.
Yeah, I mean, there was a commercial last year. I want to say it was last year. Phoenix University or one of those types of university with Larry Fitzgerald.
Was that one of the online ones or something?
Well, yeah, finally got his degree, you know, pro NFL guy.
Yeah.
And he literally was like, whoa, I'm not going to be a amazing wide receiver forever.
Right.
And I mean, Larry Fitzgerald is a very physical wide receiver.
That's first ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
in my eyes.
He probably will be. I mean, I think he made Kurt Warner the Hall of Famer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He gave him a target. But anyways, you know, that guy is just now 30.
No,
Larry, a little older now,
he's
huh?
about 34. maybe.
34.
Yeah.
He's just now looking up at life and going, whoa, this physicality won't be here forever. And he only got maybe 3 years left. A wide receiver at 37 is an old wide receiver.
I'm going to tell you, somebody I respect a ton, and that's Tommy Banks from played at Western Road.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Running back.
end up going to LSU, getting drafted. You know what he did? He played 3 years and retired. Made enough money to pay his way through medical school, and he's a doctor now in this area.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
That's pretty.
From a family
most
of football players,
Most
too.
people don't think like that, though. Most people, their only goal is to make it to the NFL just to make that money.
Who was the linebacker? Bowman? Navarro Bowman for the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
One of the top paid and one of the top.
Willis.
Patrick Willis. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bowman got injured.
Bowman, he's still playing. But
Patrick Willis, yeah, it was like, I retire. At the top of his game.
8 years in, he like 2 years in a row getting hurt. Yep, I'm done. I'm finna go. I'm finna use this
What's
money.
the lifespan of a typical NFL? It's only like 3 years for most
a
of them,
typical
right?
NFL.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
the average. You
NFL
can't say the
player.
average though, because once again we start
we
talking
go-
about all those second,
I'm
third string guys.
I'm talking about most of the
on average.
players. It's like it's
on
on like
average.
4 years,
Hang on,
right?
Jay's gonna answer the question.
On average.
On average. On average.
On your average NFL career is maybe at most 5 years.
It's okay.
And-
So about
But when you're at the peak of your career, when the guys like the top tier guys, you got maybe 7 good years in. But some guys stay too long because that's all they know. Like me and Dylan talk about it all the time. The high from playing a sport is unreal. Like you will never know that high. That's why most guys go
Unless
to
you get shot at.
drugs. That's why most guys go to drugs or things of that nature because of some fact that high you'll never get back. Like to this day, I can still hear the cliques walking to the field, like us walking together as a group to the field. That still drives me crazy. You know what I mean?
Gets you going.
Yeah.
Gets the rush going.
Still to this day.
Get all up in you. Sometimes it just tickles you, you know what I mean?
What sport were you playing? What sport were you playing?
Life.
Okay.
Hey, man, there's rushes from jiu-jitsu competitions.
Well, I'm just saying you were getting up in them, so.
Well, I mean, take one rocket attack, you'll get it pretty excited in life too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I can pull in some own life experiences that would. Yeah, but I mean, I know what Jay's talking about. Like the difference between fight or flight. Like fight or flight's different because I feel like in those situations it's all about self-preservation and the preservation. Yeah. It's not the same kind of high. Oh, yeah. That it is in a competition that you've
prepared for. Yeah. You knew it was coming. There's a blood, sweat, and tears involved.
Yeah, it's such a different experience, so it's kind of hard to compare the two.
That's why you see some in the NFL. Like I was looking at a video this morning of the Chargers. They whole team broke into a big fight. They brothers. They, you know what I'm saying?
They're fighting each other?
Fighting each other. But it's that battle. Once you get on that field, I don't have a friend. Honestly, I don't have a friend on that field. I've played against my best friend, and we end up fighting at practice and getting in trouble because, you know what I'm saying? It's it's that drive. It drives you, man. Like, you don't understand that feeling. Once you get on that field, I literally don't have a friend. My mama can be on the other side, and if I had to tackle my mama, I'd bust her. And that's being real. Like,
I love it.
You talk to any football guy, and I guarantee you anything, they would tell you the same thing. I don't care who's on the other side. Man, I love you to death, bro. But if I had to play against you, and my job was to hit you in the face.
Hey, kick you in the face, Jay.
Look, and you know I can't take that. Yeah. But you might well get ready. I'm finna come with everything I got because it's just that high. Like, it takes you to another level once you get on the field.
Yeah.
I know some of the nicest guys, like my head coach at the school, nicest guy you ever meet. But on the field, I've seen some of his videos. Dude, crazy. Insane.
So, not to change the subject, but did any of y'all see the fan rush the Britney Spears concert?
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah, the drop Saranagi on the she dropped Saranagi. Okay, so
wait, was that a female that did it?
No, it was a male, I think. Okay, a drop Saranagi's a judo throw. But, I mean, it's one of those, you throw the guy over your back and then launch him, and you drop to your knees you...
It was nothing but feet.
Yeah, feet go flying in the air, and this guy, rushed the stage and...
Did a really good backflip. Mm-hmm. He rushed the stage, did a really good backflip, and then one of the security guards came up and tried to tackle him. He just...
dropped Saranagi, the guy.
Wow.
I mean, it was
launched him.
Well, this guy needs to be tased. Time to tase him.
And then about 6 of them just slammed him.
Yeah, I mean.
I missed that part.
Yeah, I don't know if the guy was just crazy or just looking for attention or what, but obviously he was quite an athlete.
I respect him so much.
He got exactly what he wanted, though. Yeah. He got that attention.
We're talking about him. He got that 1 million views.
Exactly.
It was so funny. Jiu-Jitsu Times was posting it.
Yeah.
Everybody was. It's crazy.
I don't know. I think in a jiu-jitsu competition, once I sink the choke or something like that, that's a pretty good buzz.
It is. It is.
That's a good buzz.
And you know what? That's another thing, too, is I talked to guys before I started fighting, and I talk about the rush of an MMA tournament and how exciting it is and how nervous and the nerves and everything else. And I remember this one guy at physical therapy. He had a prior, little career or something, and he was like, oh, jiu-jitsu tournaments, he's like, that's nothing at all. That's just practice, the fights that I get excited for. And even now, after I've had a few fights under my belt, I still get whatever city I make it into whenever I pull into that city and I get in my hotel, my guts are upside down. I'm on the toilet.
You have a certain way of handling competition, though.
Yeah.
That's a little different.
Well, I mean,
and then my way of handling is probably a little different too. But
it's always evolving, and I notice it changes a little bit. I used to get nerves about a week out, and now I usually don't get nerves until the day of or the day before, and
eventually turn into just the walkout,
yeah,
just the bow.
Yeah, I keep the habits the same. I try to change it up. Sometimes I'm less aggressive, and I'm trying to be more focused and more calm now.
Now, football has given you a lot of truth of this world. Would you say that? It's given you
It's the game of life.
And you're wanting to compile that in a book, basically?
Yes.
Talk to me about that for a minute.
Well, the book is mostly like life experiences, football, family, things of that nature. So it's like things that I've seen, and I'm one of the type of people, I pay attention to everything. So like a lot of things I didn't experience myself, but I saw. And I was one of the type of people that I saw it, I'm like, okay, that didn't work for him. I'm definitely not trying that one. I'm going to try a new way.
And you know, that's one of the amazing things about the human species is we can learn from other people.
Oh, yeah.
And we can learn from other mistakes.
Some of us can learn from other people.
See,
We have the ability.
Yes.
Yeah, and see, that's one of my things that's very important to me, because you see so many people take, oh, well, my dad wasn't around, so I'm going to be that same person.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Because at the end of the day, let's change the cycle.
You see what it was like to not have your dad around.
So my dad, love him to death because he's my dad. My dad ain't never been in my life. I've never received a gift from my dad, not birthdays or 4 days apart.
Wow.
Yeah, but that made me a better father, because what would I don't know what I would have become if
You
my dad was in
decided
my life.
to
Right.
let it make you
I
a better
decided to make
father.
me a better father.
And that's the trick, right? I mean, there's two things you can do from your parents. Either learn from them or
Follow
decide.
them.
Yep. You can either learn from them or follow them.
You know what,
You
Jay?
can also do both.
Well, it's a mixture of both. But what I'm saying is a
Right.
certain thing that they do, you know, you can either learn from it or follow it.
Yeah.
And I think that's something me and Jay level on a lot from past experiences. And what I still, at 22 years old, it still baffles me and it still blows me away. And I wonder if it does you the same. But it's how people that experience that and then don't do that. Like it still blows me away.
It does, because you look at it like this. If you've been hurt before, you don't want that pain again.
You should
So
want that pain.
you should.
Unless you're into that.
Yeah, but why would you pass that on to your kids?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's an empty feeling to know on my birthday my dad's not gonna be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's not because he's deceased or anything. It's because he just don't want to be there.
So if that wasn't good for you, it's obviously not going to be good for your kids.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, another, I guess, little thing in there is you could choose to let that hold you down.
Yeah.
Right? You could choose to make that.
A crutch.
Ooh, the man took my words.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We choose to.
Perfect.
We choose to, but in a day, I use that as a stepping stone to the next block of my life. I'm like, okay, I've been through this. That's done. That's on to the next.
Yeah.
The next, like, I would never give you a half version of me. I'm always gonna give you everything. I'm never gonna be perfect. Never in life. If you're perfect, if you think you're perfect, you have no business being on this earth in my eyes. That's just me, because you look at it like this. Once you figure yourself out, once you figure something out in the game, you playing the game. Once you beat the game is over, right?
And you should constantly be growing. You should constantly be changing and
I try
adapting.
to learn new things about myself
Absolutely.
and my surroundings every day. But some people don't. Some people look at it and say, you know what? This works
Yeah,
for me.
this
I'm
is
here.
it. This is it. I mean, how many people do we see that you see him, hey man, and you see him a year from now and he's the exact same person he was a year ago.
With the exact same excuses, with the exact same reasons, with the exact You mean to tell me you didn't fix nothing?
Go read a book.
You didn't reconcile anything within yourself. Now me, I don't sleep enough. Like I'm always battling this dude up here.
Right.
He's always fighting me. But I can tell you for a fact, it ain't the same stuff that it was last year.
Right.
You know.
Right.
It ain't the same things. You know, eventually I go to sleep because I go, you know what? I marked 1 or 2 things off that list.
Oh yeah.
You know what, Brock? you did put in what you could today. Or you know what? Why don't you go ahead and go to sleep so that you can put in more tomorrow? You know, you have to reconcile with yourself, but you also have to be willing to look in the mirror for that. You know, you gotta look in the mirror and look at that guy and be like, yo, bro, nut up.
Yeah.
Get going.
Yeah. Like, I look at it. I see myself as a painting that's unfinished, because I would never be a finished product. Never. I don't want to be. I don't want to be, because at the end of the day, I'm done living once I figure myself out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, once you figure yourself out, that's why you don't get with somebody that's exactly like you. That's why your partner is, like me and my wife, we have so much in common, but we're so different.
Get an honest partner.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing that you have, like, it took me so long to accept that. Man, my wife just keep it so real with me. And I'm like, man, she really, man, she really about to make me mad. But then after a while, I was like, man, like, it made me a better person. She improved me as a person because of the person she is.
Well, that's the people you want around you,
Oh,
all the way around. You don't want friends there. You know?
I don't deal with fake
yourself
people.
with yes men.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, man, I'm finna go rob this man. Oh yeah, you sound like a good idea. No. Tell me that's stupid. You know what I mean? Like,
Dylan will tell me to go ahead and do it.
yeah, Dylan was like,
Go ahead.
That's only if I want to see how it works out.
Brock's the voice of reason.
Yeah. Dylan was like, hey man, I'm finna go rob this bank. Oh, what? Go rob a credit union, bro.
Well, see, I'm not. They're insured up to $200,000, so you can take way more from them.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know what I've found in life is now with these two guys across the table, I will just say stop being an idiot. You know, but they also know that when I'm saying things like that, it's like no, but like a complete stranger or even like one of my soldiers or something, if they're telling me something and I'm hearing it and I'm thinking, no, that's not how that's going to work. If I'm wanting to talk them off that ledge, I can't tell them they're being stupid.
No.
What I have to do is almost.
But you do sometimes.
I'm gonna say that they're being stupid. But what you got to do in order to change their mind, or your best shot at changing someone's mind, is get them to argue their reason to themselves. Try to get them to finally be the counter argument in their own head. Because most people don't ever sit down and argue.
Do you know how hard it is to make someone be introspective?
Well, you know.
Well, I mean, I've been working on it. It's tough.
Yeah.
I think one of the best things you can do to help that is to listen.
Right.
Because a lot of times, how many times? How many times have you need to talk to somebody about something? And you're like, shit, Jay, listen, okay, this is going on, and man, I don't know what to do about this, and this, and this. And halfway through that conversation, you're like, oh, wait. Oh, dude, thank you.
And he's just going, okay.
Thanks for letting me talk to you about that. I think I know what I need to do now. And it's just getting all of it out, and then by talking about it, you're thinking about it, and by thinking about it, you're going over it, and by going over it, you find a solution.
Yeah.
Too many people take it, and they just...
See, and that's what I'm trying to break my wife from. She got that bad. Like, she'll be sitting there like, babe, what's wrong with you? Nothing. I just want to figure this out. Well, how can you figure it out?
Talk about it.
Yeah.
How can you figure it out? Talk to me. Like, that's what I'm here for.
Women are beautiful creatures because women see it all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always amazed whenever my mom, my girlfriend, you know, they'll start talking about things, and in their mind, you see that they have linked. Go ahead and go piss, Dylan. Go piss. Go piss, Dylan.
Just go.
You see that they have
slow's distracting. Shit.
You see that they have linked 6 or 7 things down the line, and you're like, I didn't even think about dinner.
You know,
and it's beautiful. I appreciate it because I know that they have my back, especially if I'm involved. They're thinking. They're thinking in ways that I never can, and that's the beauty of the woman's mind. But at the same time, just cut it, woman.
hey, the crazy part is, though, we don't think about it this way, but our job is to link those thoughts together. That's it. Like, I figured it out. Our job is to link those thoughts together. You know what I mean? Like, my wife has 20 things on her mind, and they all make sense, but they're not connected.
Yeah.
So our job is just to sit there and listen. Well, baby, how about you do this? You know what? That makes sense.
Yeah,
now.
let's do this, and this, and that's going to...
And it's going on its way. See, we have a big issue as men, like, not willing to accept what, not willing to accept the fact that the woman is probably right.
She's probably right.
She's probably right. I mean,
she's smarter than us.
She thinks she is.
I mean, people are smart in their own ways. You know, that's but that's a, you know. I get upset sometimes with the modern feminist thing of trying to be like, we're all equal.
Third way
feminism.
Third way feminism is not about
postmodern.
equality.
Yeah, postmodern feminism.
The second wave was about equality.
Yeah. The stuff that you see now about we're all equal, nobody's equal to anybody. We're all unique in what we bring to the table and what a woman brings to the table. It's not what a man brings to the table, but we are equally providing.
Right.
We are equally providing. Now, if we would just stop right there, we are equally providing.
Are you mansplaining?
I'm not mansplaining. What I am saying is
Dylan, shut the fuck up.
What I am saying is what a woman gives to a relationship and to a family and to things like that, I probably can't provide.
Right.
You know, for one thing, I can't make kids.
Of course.
And for one thing, if I made a kid, I probably would never want to do it again.
Right. Right.
You know?
Man.
But,
Nothing about that looks pleasant.
Right, but in a few years, they'll want to do it again, and, you know?
I'm going to tell you.
Crazy.
I'm going to tell you. I always love and respect my wife, but I gain a greater respect watching her have my kids.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most amazing thing in the world.
Because she's ripping herself apart.
Yeah, but it's not so much
to give
that,
life.
It's not so much as that. It's her strength through it all, because the whole process is horrible. I mean,
and then they want to do it again.
3/4 of a year too.
Yeah, the starting process of the pregnancy is, you know what I'm saying, the inside walls ripping and things of that nature. Like, what? Are you kidding me?
Round ligaments stretching, you know, they'll literally be like, oh.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's going on? And then you read what's going on in their body, and you're going, I would die.
Look, I have a cold, and I'm next to death. My wife will tell you, like, I'm next to death. I'm in bed like, oh.
I'm like that too.
I can't think. I can't breathe.
That's because you have a larger hypothalamus, which means you have a higher perceived temperature range. So your cold is worse than her cold.
In our minds, but she's having a baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they fight through it the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Most amazing thing. And for men that sit there and dog women out, that irks me, because the things that they do for us. Like, don't get me wrong, it's some terrible women out here. Don't get me wrong, like, all women are not perfect.
Yeah, probably more terrible men.
Yeah, but the good women out there deserve.
There's nothing more beautiful than a good, powerful woman.
Oh my God, you have no idea. Man, I love my wife to death because of how strong she is. Mm-hmm. She keep me in line. She keep the house together.
And step one was enough, right? Keeping you in line.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm serious. Like, she keep like.
Much less actually doing the dishes when half the time you're just sitting on the couch going, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Like, I get home, my wife is like, babe, you look tired. I got it. But the crazy part is she works full-time job too.
Mm-hmm.
I use the word babysit because Lily pretty much babysits me, everyone on the trip. Like,
and
she took care of me, Mike, and Brandon, carrying bags, bringing water, coaching.
Yeah, we can talk about genetic predispositions. We can talk about how you're gender rolling a female and how dare you. But actually, it's beautiful that they do it. So
if I had a
why do we even try to take that away from a woman?
Right.
If that's something women do,
better,
why take it away?
Better. Way better than men. And it's like not even, and I'm not saying Matt's like, oh, Matt, you're not as good as Lily, like, with a lot of things. But, I mean, if you came along.
I'm not at a lot of things.
But it's like, if you came along to the trip. But you're good. Not bad.
You're not bad.
This is a little different. Like, if you came along to the trip to, like, help out and stuff. And, like, sure, you'd be good. But there's a lot of things that she'd do naturally to help us out and to kind of beat to the punch. Like, oh, let me get that. Let me go run over here.
Tell her.
Let me go grab your gi while you're about to start this division. Like, things like that, where you would have been like, you would have had to been told. They'd be like, hey, Matt, you do this. You'd be like, oh, all right. And she's just naturally on all of it, taking care of everybody.
Oh, yeah. That's why a lot of women, when they get their evaluation for jobs, their best thing is initiative. As a man, initiative is the worst thing on ours.
Right.
Like, you know how many jobs I had evaluation and, like, good initiative. Yeah, you need to work on that.
We kind of got to tell you what to do, bro.
And you know what? And let's be honest. I like being told what to do.
A matter of fact, whenever we're cleaning this house, if she tells me, go clean that, go pick that up, go put that away, okay. And then half the time, she goes, you're doing it wrong. Let me do that. And you're like, but okay.
Yeah. Well, it's like, my little brother's leaving for basic training tomorrow, and that's one thing I told him. I was like, the best thing about it, you're not gonna have to worry about anything.
Yeah,
they're gonna tell you exactly what to do.
They're gonna tell you which shoes to buy. They're gonna tell you which clothes to wear. Mm-hmm. You're actually, for the most part, running on autopilot. All you got to do is continue performing.
Yeah.
There's a reason why guys get in the military, and some of them just stay.
Because it's easier. Yeah. It's easier that way.
And most of those guys may make it to E5. And that'll be probably about it. But but they'll just. And even at E5 level, I mean, Dylan can tell you it honestly, at E5 level, all you're doing is being a relaying voice. You know, you're not the one who really thought of what to do unless you're like way out in the field with no one else around. Most of the time, there's someone else saying, "This is what you need to do," and you're like, "Okay, let me go tell my 4 guys that's what needs to be done."
Let me go tell my friends.
You know, so I mean, I get it. I get why so many guys. I mean, it's almost a paradise in many ways. I don't have to think, I just perform. But, so. What gave you the itch to start writing? What gave you the thought of I need to write this down? What was the lightning rod?
Jay has a voice that cannot be suppressed. He's got a fire inside his belly.
Oh yeah, but honestly, it was my head coach at the school. He has 2 books. Mm-hmm. He just finished the second one, and he's kind of like a mentor. Like since I've been working there, I mean, I'm amazed by the things that I've seen him do and accomplish, and it's like, hey, I'm going to follow that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a good path to follow.
Find a mentor.
Oh, yeah, man. This guy, you know what I'm saying? He has a family, take care of his family. He's a head football coach, he's a teacher, but he still make time to take care of his business, and that impresses me. So I was like, I'm going to follow this guy. So that really what kick-started my thought process of, like, trying to write a book, you know?
Now, what are you wanting to write? What's the format? When I open up the cover, what am I looking at?
Well,
what's in the head, I should say.
Yeah, it's kind of like breaking down, you know, my life story in a way, and then also coming out and pointing out things that most people won't look at, like the fact of that you don't use your past as a crutch. You use it as the next level to your life. A lot of people don't look at it that way. A lot of people say, you know what, I've been through this. I don't know how to get myself out of this situation.
Or this is why I am in this situation.
Or this is why it's this. You know what I mean? Like my mom grew up in a household where her dad didn't even allow them to go to school. It was all like, I got uncles and stuff that can't even read. They 50, 60 years old.
Yeah, in the year 2017.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they come over and bring their meal to my mom for her to read because my mom was like, she ran away and moved in with my aunt who was a school teacher because she wanted to learn. So that's something that impresses me. And then the simple fact that my mom she'll be 66 in December, and she just started working last year. So why can't I get up and go work? Because my mom did it for all these years. And I'm not talking 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs.
That's a cool story to tell. Like,
so, you know, I think it's important for people to hear that you're not the only one going through something.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's not like your story's uncommon.
Yeah.
But damn it, someone needs to write it down at this point because it's been around for too long. Also, you know, some of these things, like you were talking about, there's some cycles out there that you hear and you see, and you're like, this got to stop. This got to stop.
Well, somebody's sitting out there thinking about, oh, well, I mean, you don't know.
Yeah.
My mom couldn't even read.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah? Well, look at this.
And then, well, it's books out there like that, but.
James McBride, The Color of Water.
Right. But
that's a good book.
I'm going to have to check that one out.
It's a good one.
But it's easier for, like, I do it for the local people, the people that I know, because they're not going to pick up a book and read it. So I want to be that voice and say, you know what, like, look at what I did. Look at what I was able to accomplish. Like, up to this point, it don't seem like I've accomplished much, but I'm proud of where I've come from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So is this book going to be sort of like a self-help thing or a self-motivation thing through the analogy of your life?
Yes, because I want to be a motivational speaker. That's my goal. So, you know, that's what I'm pushing towards. But, you know, I wanted to write the book just for something, just to leave out there for, you know what I'm saying, other people to see, people that won't get a chance to see me, you know what I'm saying, from an early point in my career. Right. So, just, hey, look, this is book. This kind of going to give you a detail to what you're going to see when you meet him. It's something to tell you a little more about myself, because when you go speak, you speak for an hour, and you can't throw your whole life out there in an hour. So a book can kind of give you details like, you know, this guy legit. It's
the outline.
Right.
You know, what is it that makes you want to push that motivation to other people so much? Because I know there's a lot of people that they'll make it and they'll get out of that and they'll just kind of do their own thing and keep it with themselves. Like, what is it?
When I think I was maybe 13, we had a speaker come to a school. I've been to so many schools, so I don't even remember what school it was. So,
Yeah.
And he was talking, and before he finished, he said, "My whole goal of this message is not to reach everybody because I won't. But if I could reach one person, I've done my job." I thought back and I looked at that and I was like, man, that's kind of powerful. So if he can influence me by saying just that little bit, imagine what I can do just reaching somebody and then they reach somebody. Because I want to change the cycle in my community because it's the fact that you see so many kids that's extremely talented and can do anything in the world.
Endless potential in every situation,
but they
really.
choose to do crazy stuff, you know? Like now, you know, I have a nephew that's in jail now. 18 years old. He's finna spend the next 10 years of his life locked up. Now, then he get locked up, and then a month ago, my little cousin get locked up for possibly a murder charge. So what could I have done to be a better cousin or uncle could have changed that situation?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So
I mean, you can't carry all that weight, though.
Well, I'm not carrying the weight, but I'm just saying, like, I look at it like that, and I say, you know what? How can I change somebody else's future from that same situation happening to them?
If it's just one, right?
Even if it's just one.
That's funny.
Even if it's just one, because if I can stop Dylan from doing something, then he can stop you from doing something, maybe. Then he can possibly stop you from doing something. It's a chain effect, but so many times the chain gets broken because people stop.
People don't care enough about the right person at the right time. And I mean, you're right, Dylan. You can't carry all of that, right? But that, I think, maybe is the goal of family and friendship. Find the 3 or 4 people in your life that are worth that investment.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Some people are always gonna the rule of statistics, right? Some people are always gonna use it as a crutch. Some people are always gonna, you don't know my life, and I mean that's even referenced back to that. I think that's such a big fallacy.
The thing is, though, you gotta have bad to know what the good is.
Sometimes I look at, nature is a bell curve. There's going to be good. There's going to be bad. Mm-hmm. There's going to be those who listen, those who don't.
Most fall right here.
Yeah.
It's got to be a crest to every wave.
Yeah.
Every time. So then inside that ebb and flow, all you can do is hope to maybe knock over the one domino that maybe knocks it over that one tick this way. I mean, even Jesus in the Bible said the poor will always be with you. And I think, when you think about poor, you think about just money poor. Well, maybe he meant, poor of mind, poor of soul, poor of attitude.
Oh yeah.
But you got to try, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, the worst thing you can do is not try, because you never know what one thing could change somebody's life. Just one thing. I mean, like, I can't tell you nothing that God said that day. But I remember that last part. And I'm going to be 27 years old next month.
Sticks with you.
And it still sticks with me because that's powerful. Just think about it. Just one person. And matter of fact, when I went home, I told my mom that one line that he said, and it stuck with me. So.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Did you see the crap in the news yesterday about North Carolina? You seen any of that? Protests and all that? Some of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw something about it. I don't really know what happened.
Did you see any of that, Dylan?
I didn't.
I saw the headline.
None of it.
I don't really know what happened.
Well, yeah, the final headline is that a guy drove a car through
a crowd of people.
A crowd of protesters.
But the biggest part was, the part is getting everybody's the fact that so many people, white guys,
out there was
with
a bunch
tiki
of
torches, and
there was a white supremacist rally.
But the part that got me that got me the most, I looked at the video and the picture of the guys. They look like us. I mean, other than color-wise, you look at them. One guy, he looked like he could be a cop. The other guy looked like he could be a teacher.
Yeah, they're normal people.
They look like normal people, but they have so much hatred.
Wait, so what was the protest?
Okay, so here's what happened. Here's as much as you can gather from the news. There was a Robert E. Lee statue in North Carolina.
Okay. They're wanting probably.
They're wanting to take it down. There was may have been a white supremacist rally. Actually, it was just a bunch of white guys, from what we can tell on that one, that marched. And that one was a peaceful rally, right? But then it got on later into the night, and it started showing up some more neo-Nazi flags and some white supremacist bullshit. And then some Antifa protesters showed up, anti-fascist protesters, with their mask on and with their cheap riot shields, and they start what was getting sort of amped up, they push it over the edge.
Equally as
wrong, right? Two wrongs don't make a right, bruh.
True.
It goes on into the next day, and then basically culminates into a guy, from what we can tell, it looks like one of the white supremacists, driving into the anti-fascist protest crowd. Kills one, injures, 24 or so people. And it's just like, at what point is it like, just shut the fuck up, calm down. A statue is not worth that, first off.
No.
No one needed to die.
No one needed to die over a fucking statue.
Yeah.
Do I think you should take the statue down? Dude, that is a conversation we could have for 6 or 7 hours.
About any statue.
About any statue. I mean, it could be a Hitler statue. It could be a Saddam Hussein statue. It could be any statue of a guy that did have an importance in our history. Love him, hate him, think he was stupendous, think he was stupid. Robert E. Lee is in our history. So no matter what my opinion may be, no matter what anybody's opinion may be, that's a long conversation.
Oh, yeah.
But don't make a violent situation more violent, because then that's just going to make it escalate to the stupidity of this. And then it always breaks my heart when someone's flying fucking rebel flag at one of those damn rallies, because then that's going to immediately become the meme of everybody being like, see, it is a Nazi symbol.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, yeah, I guess it is now.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Well, I mean, trying to take it back, though, that's a big thing. And it's kind of funny because I see guys, I saw this in the news the other day. It blew my mind. They're trying to take the swastika back.
Yes.
Ooh.
And for those of you that don't know, the swastika, a
a
clothing company.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Hang on. Wait. So
okay.
for those of you that don't know, the swastika was originally a Buddhist symbol of peace. And a lot of people don't know that. Like, everybody knows the swastika from the Nazis and the devastation of Jewish population in Europe, but originally it came from the East. It was, I think, peace and then freedom.
It was also in the Hindu culture, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
and so it had a whole history.
As a symbol.
I mean, and Hitler was the one that took it and made it that symbol of hatred and war. And so, but 100% you can't take it back.
Yeah, it's done.
Like, once you take it to that level, you're not getting it back. I mean, it's obviously a historical symbol, no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what.
Was. Yeah, it's now a historical symbol for what happened in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and so they tried to put gay pride around it. And like,
it's done.
They put it on shirts.
Oh no!
Saying "end the hatred" and all this, and tried to butterfly it up, and they got huge lashback. So then they took all those shirts and they printed a big circle and a slash through the swastika.
Reprint.
Yeah, tried to reprint it, and it still got more hate. And then they just issued a formal apology.
Yeah, that's no matter what I may have been raised for the rebel flag to mean, and I was not raised for it to mean hate. Matter of fact, we have a high school that uses it, right? And that's become even controversial. But I was never raised for it to mean hate. It was, for me, that Southern independence, the Southern identity.
Pride.
A pride symbol of,
there's so much
this is
racism
me.
in the South, though.
Yeah.
Right. But
I mean,
I wasn't raised racist, and
No.
that symbol wasn't a racist symbol to me. Now, was it one to you?
In a way, in my community, is always looked at as a racist symbol.
Mm-hmm.
But me personally, I can care less because some of my best friends are white.
Yeah.
I mean, people look too much into it in my eyes. This is just my opinion. people look so much into it, and then they make the situation worse. You know what I mean? Like, I have a friend that parents are racist. They'll let you know they don't like black people, but he listens to more rap music and Lil Boosie and Kevin Gates than I do.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that people need to, I guess, get a hold of is that Hollywood has led you to believe that the racism in the South is alive and well, and there are cases. I'm not even going to get on to the fact that they're not, but everybody at this table, no. And are we the majority? In the majority?
Now you make it seem like this is a defensive episode. We brought on the black guy to show that we're not racist.
Yeah, no.
I didn't know he was black till today.
You saw his Facebook, didn't you?
No.
I didn't either.
Really?
No, I didn't.
Guess what? I didn't give a fuck.
No.
Yeah, but
I was just laughing in the group chat.
Now once I opened up his profile and actually saw, oh, Riser Middle School. That was about as far as I actually needed to go. Not to sound funny, but it was like Riser Middle. Oh, probably black guy.
You went to Riser, so
yeah.
We have
once
white
again,
assistant principal.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I don't mean to sound funny to people when I tell them I was raised a minority. I don't think you understand.
Well, no, there's a lot more white kids there now, isn't there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But 20-something years ago.
The crazy part is though, it's like that's probably the least racist school around.
Yeah.
And honestly, but it's on both sides. You have black people that's racist.
Well, you can't say that. Reverse racism does not exist.
Man, get out of here. I'm an honest person. I'm not gonna say and lie. I know black people that's racist.
What do you think when you hear and see stuff like that about that black people can't be racist? Have you seen any of that stuff?
I think it's BS.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say and lie, dude. I know some of them.
And I wasn't wanting to dive into politics all day long. I wanted to know if you had seen that stuff about the protests and if you had a feeling about it because it did end up having white supremacists in it.
Yeah, and I think it's crazy on both ends because, like, no matter where you go, you're gonna see a black person. No matter where you go, you're gonna see a white. No matter what the color is,
you
race
ever
or
been
whatever.
to Ohio?
And it's sprinkled in there.
Yeah, sprinkled.
Sprinkled. Hey, look, just think about when you season, you only need just a dash to add your flavor to it, right?
That's right.
So mix it all together.
It's such a crazy conversation to have though because I used to. Like, the way me and my brother grew up, I mean, if you talk to us, we're obviously just Southern boys. But if you look at me and then you especially look at my little brother, you can definitely see the Hispanic.
Yeah. Especially in your brother.
Yeah.
You definitely from DNA. A mile away go,
and I remember, and it's funny because we go to Mexican restaurants and me and Lily will order in Spanish and he's just, I'll have a water. He knows no Spanish. But I remember the torture he went through growing up in school. Like, and whenever you want to talk about racism.
You also went to West Washington.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we went to 16 different schools.
Wow.
Yeah.
There was always these kids that hated him. And, I mean, he's kind of cute. The girl's like a little brown guy.
He was also a player.
He's tall.
There was a lot of that. Like, so it was like there was that natural animosity there. And then on top of him being, I mean, even before he started getting popular with girls, people were just mean to him.
Now, let me ask a question, though. Do you think that some of it was that, that competition, like you're talking about, tall guy, good looking?
You didn't see him whenever he was younger.
It happened too? That's what I'm asking. I'm asking.
Absolutely. And like I said, before he was popular with girls, it was really mean because he couldn't defend himself because he was this young, small kid. Like, he really grew a lot. After middle school,
puberty hit him with a truck.
Hit him way up.
Well,
natural defense mechanism made him 6 foot, and then.
I never met him until he was in high school. So
yeah, well,
I've only known him as.
I'll show you pictures.
As the big little brother.
Yeah,
Big Brandon.
I'll show you pictures. He was adorable, but I remember him coming home crying, and it would always break my heart. And I'd get a little bit less of it because I'm not as dark complected as him. I'd kind of fit in a little bit more, and it breaks my heart. And now here as a grown man having a spouse from, I mean, not another country. New Mexico is still a part of the United States, but her heritage is she's first generation Mexican American. And now that she's here, like we go to the town together and we'll talk, and people look at us funny because we'll talk in Spanish, or she'll be on the phone and people look at her funny, and like that bothers me a lot, and I try not to let it bother me too much. But whenever she talks about the way some of the people are in the school district, I mean, overall, everybody's super excited to have someone so diverse and so well educated and a special education major. She's way ahead of everyone else. But to hear, oh, I'm more friends with all the black teachers. It doesn't upset me that she's friends with black teachers. It upsets me that she's not able to say, oh, I love everyone and everyone's being great to me.
Yeah, that she has already identified a pattern of, wait a second.
That breaks my heart.
The biggest thing is, though, people don't like different. People can't accept different.
Absolutely.
And so whenever some of it I write off as evolutionary, right? Yeah. That, 5,000 years ago, if someone showed up on your shores and they were a different color, fuck.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of it I think is hardwired. It's one of the reasons why I'm like, there shouldn't be African American, Mexican American, Caucasian American. It should become just American.
Well, that's something one of our employees talked to us about. Why is it African American?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. We're all American. That's not a culture.
I mean,
I'm going to tell you something that's so funny. It's kind of go like that with schools, too. My wife, if you meet my wife, she work at school, too. And first thing the teacher says is, you went to Washington, you went to Neville, you went to West Monroe? No. She graduated from Carroll. Carroll? You went to Carroll?
Right.
First thing you think. I mean, I'm black and I think it sometimes. Like my wife went to Carroll? I can't tell.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can't tell because she's smart. She's not
well-spoken.
Yeah, she's not wearing this little shorts with a clothes. You know what I'm saying? She's not showing everything. So the first thing you think is, no way she went to Carroll. I mean, it's the same thing with the schools. Like, people judge people by the school they went to.
Yeah, you're transcending race now. Now you're going into
culture. Culture's inside of races.
Well, I really hate whenever someone asks me what high school I went to.
Geographic cultures.
Because the first thing they think of is that.
Oh, yeah.
we went to West
racist
Washington.
country.
Oh, yeah, and let it be
no.
said, I graduated. I ended up through, a shifting of moving out to where we are now. I ended up graduating from West Washington. And that was a culture shock for me. Because
Right.
once again, I go from there's only like 3 white guys here to all of a sudden there's only 3 black guys here, and the black guys actually was more country than I was. Like, all of a sudden they were like, you're fucking ghetto. And I'm like, wait a second. No, I'm not. But, and I even got in fights because I was too thuggish, even though I was raised by a redneck father.
Right.
That permeates of that culture, and some of those attitudes and stuff had come into me that, I'd fuck you, motherfucker. And they'd be like, oh, you're that guy, huh?
Yeah. See, that's why I say your biggest experience, your biggest, you know what I'm saying, is school.
Yeah.
Like, you get your, dude. Like,
that's where culture comes from now.
Your parents only give this much in your life.
They only see you that much now.
Yeah.
Really?
So just think about it. Like, most of your surroundings is the people you grow up from school. So, you're a white guy, but look how you say a redneck father, but then you go to school with a bunch of all these black people, and then, the way you talk, change, everything.
Well, I remember my first real intro to rap outside of Eminem was in Rayville Elementary School.
Yeah.
When I was out in Rayville, that's whenever I really started listening to other music, and I got introduced to that. And
Middle school.
Middle school. You know what I mean?
Well, I was elementary. And
you see what I'm saying? Elementary.
And it was a whole big culture change. And I kind of look back and I remember the periods of my life where I was in Rayville and kind of having a little bit of a thug attitude and not being a bad kid, like still doing everything like properly. But it's like when people talk to me, I was like, "What's up, brother?
Yeah.
What's up, man?"
And
then
people judge you on
and
that.
you get thrown into Lakeshore, and now it's like, "Oh shit, let me adapt to these white kids."
Yeah. But like, people are only gonna we always say we don't care what people think about us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all
absolutely do.
But your life is image.
Yeah,
people gonna judge you from what they see.
Your instincts are to take in some of that culture around you for survival. It's a survival thing. Let me, and even if it's like, me going from shaking hands to, knuckle bumping somebody, these things are these little cues that you're picking up on people.
I think I'll always be a hugger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because you're such a sensitive little man.
Yeah.
But like,
not because you're awesome, dog.
I mean,
just no, yeah. But
I'll bump knuckles, but once
once like me,
The bro hug.
yeah, I always there's gonna be some kind of hug.
Me and Dylan
if it's
hug
one armed or
every time we
both,
see
I don't
Every
care.
time.
Dylan's
Jay
a
don't
openly
want-
affectionate man.
I am too.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That is probably the one thing that I'm okay with. Modern society has given the male because like my dad told me he loved me. Yeah, about that many.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Obviously
now, in all
loves you.
honesty,
You know he loves you.
honestly, those 10 times are extremely special to me
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not going to be that way with my daughters. Now, if I had a son, maybe. But then again, I would be way more willing to push him in the mud.
But see, the thing is though, like I'm so rough with my son, but
Yeah.
I show him so much affection at the same time.
Yeah.
Like
I like that.
All those years of grunts, and then one day he asks you to go fishing, and it's
Yeah.
just like, oh.
Yeah, right. But that's just a changing. There are some things that modern culture has brought us that's absolutely good.
Oh yeah.
But that don't mean I have to accept all of it.
yeah.
I do not have to accept all of it.
Of course not.
Yeah. Like, your parents are the reason the way you are. And?
But
Thanks.
but going back to Dylan, I thought it was hilarious that after his last fight, one of the ring girls there, who's friends with one of my roommates, was just like, so he was faking that because after his fight, he was all sweet and all that again.
Yeah.
And you know how intense he gets before,
Yeah,
like at the
no.
weigh-ins, and she was
People
like,
just don't
he
know.
was faking that. I was like, no,
You have you
no,
have
that's
idea.
Dylan.
This dude is crazy.
He's super sweet 90% of the time. Then whenever it goes to competition,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I told him that the other day. We was talking, and he was just like, "Yo, Jay, you're this, you're that." Then they got to talking about animals. And he was like, "Oh my God, I have
he'll
this.
melt.
I have this little." I was like, "Look at this dude.
He'll
He went
melt.
From, yes, he went from complete tough guy to soft.
You let
dude
him
just
find
like
a
that.
lizard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was like, "Oh,
One that I'll feed to Brocky, my little
he was like,
dragon.
We can
like,
look for
yeah,
him again.
I was running the other day, and I was just running. I saw this little cute snake, and I picked it up, and I got to playing with it. I was like, really, dude? Like, really?
Yeah,
He gets-
Dylan has the amazing ability to compartmentalize in, I think, just the right equal amounts of that he
He used to have
puts.
some trouble with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you still do, right? It still bleeds over at times.
What do you mean? Like,
Well, like the angry Dylan. You have a tendency to keep him in the box.
Training camp, Dylan.
Training camp Dylan. Hanging out with friends Dylan. You those are different guys.
Yeah.
I
You know,
remember,
and-
I remember
and-
first training camp, Dylan was annoying at times. Like, I'd just be like, how you doing? He's going, I'm fucking killing him. I'm just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
we be at work, we be talking. I was like, yeah, man. He was like, dude, I just know. If everybody, I had to fight everybody in this restaurant, I fucking kill everybody. In there.
Yeah, it's
The
just
thing-
like that.
Like, look,
Jay, you gotta keep that between
I
us,
told him,
man.
I told him one day, I said, dude, I'll kick your ass. Dude, I fucking kill you. You have no chance. Like, damn, do I have to go
Jay,
outside?
I'll be honest with you,
Do
man.
I have to go outside and take this ass whooping to prove to you that I'm not scared of you, man?
I'm gonna take it.
I'm gonna take this ass whooping.
I'm gonna be
You
the guy
gonna
that
know.
you beat so long.
I'm not scared of him, but
Jay was like, maybe I could take you. I was like,
Like-
come on, Jay.
I'm like, dude,
If we're painters, I'm painting all the time. You don't know how I
you
paint.
don't know how real this is.
I mean, you let him know you're not scared. But
Yeah.
But that's Dylan. There's people that that have no idea about even the guy at night, right? They have no idea about the guy that's sending us pictures at 5 o'clock in the morning, just dead, feeling like. But he's already got the worst part of the day. He's already rolled the boulder up the hill. Hell has already happened.
Yeah.
And the rest of the day, he's la da 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 da.
Yeah.
But nobody knows what it takes for him to get there. And I mean, I'm using you as an example.
It's hard
right?
not to be salty sometimes. I know people get tired of that. But
No,
it's
you do a
like-
great job. Actually, that's what I'm saying.
No,
You do a great job
yeah.
of most people. They're like, "Oh, Dylan, he's as big as sweetie." And I'm like, "You have no idea. there
I
is
know
a
this guy.
monster about 3 inches under that surface. Go ahead, keep scratching if you want
Yeah.
to. Go ahead. It's up
Yeah,
to you."
It's up to you. You choose. You choose and get a foot across your lip.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, now, you did take a jab in that last fight. There was one, by the way.
No.
There was one jab.
Uppercut that split my eye.
Yeah, but I'm saying there was one jab where I was like, all right.
Oh, yeah. Threw the head back. Yeah, I watched it more times than you, I promise.
Probably. Because it's not the same, right? Being in it versus watching it is. I mean, that's even
absolutely.
true for jiu-jitsu level.
Football, I mean, too. Like, that's,
Game
Jay talks
film.
about-
Listen, when I played football, I was perfect on the field. Get to watching tape, like,
fuck.
Well, I mean, sometimes you read sometimes you read like The Art of War, right? Or the Book of Five Rings. Book of Five Rings is a great one of Miyoto Musashi talking about how deeply introspective you have to be and things like that. And you're like, man, do I really? And then you think we live in a modern age where you can literally film yourself being absolutely stupid, and then someone go, here's the evidence of you being absolutely stupid. Now I have to face that reality, versus those ancient guys. They didn't necessarily have that. They had to go back and
I don't know if they could ever get what we get. Like,
no, I don't think they could. We live in a world where people don't understand how great it is to be alive. It's so easy to be alive right now.
You can be poor and have
everything. As long as you got a cell phone,
you
you're
can be
good.
poor as shit and then learn. You don't think about that.
You make a couple of $100 a week, and you can pretty much exist.
You can
on a
learn
level.
5 languages right there in your hand and be efficient in them.
Dude, I'm going to tell you something that tripped me up. At church, they tell you pull out your Bible, we finna go to this thing, and everybody pull out their phone. Like, I seen, like, my wife was one of them. Let me get to this verse. I was like,
Why not?
But that's the thing, though. Back in the day, we go to church, it was Bibles on every pew, and you got to flip them over and try to find it. By the time you find where you need to be.
Now he's on a different one.
Yeah.
He's in Corinthians now. You go, but
Yeah.
Oh, look, you know how to pronounce Corinthians.
I remember the silent page
I read the
turning.
Bible. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that moment of silence where everyone's just flipping pages.
And he wait. He be like, I'm gonna give everybody time to get there. All right, and then this. Like, hold on, wait, you ain't giving time.
Yeah, but he's already got it printed out, ready to go.
Yeah, or he highlighted in that particular highlight, or
he's got it paper tabbed or something.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Technology is awesome, and I get so mad whenever I think about how much I underutilize it. Like when I think about all the things that I do with my phone and all the times I uselessly scroll through social media and all these things, I get so mad because I should be practicing my Spanish or I should be looking up more. I mean, there's just so much that you could do to better yourself with that. And I think so many people hate on technology. Oh, everybody's on their phone. Everybody's doing this. It's not having it, it's misusing it. Yeah. And that's something I really want to get on.
We're lazy creatures.
Yeah, and it's so easy.
This thing right here has enough computing power to get a rocket to the moon, or fake it. Or at least fake it.
Did you see what I said the other day on Facebook?
But all we do is send pics. All we do is send pictures of our junk.
Did you see what I said the other day on Facebook?
What'd you say?
I said that the moon landing was staged and filmed. However, they hired Stanley Kubrick, who in his pissy perfectionist attitude made them fly all the way to the moon in order to film it. Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
As soon as she said his name, I knew where that was going.
Yeah. He was the James Cameron of the day, right?
Notorious.
How about James Cameron is getting massive delays in his films because he is insisting it be filmed under the actual ocean?
What are you
like
talking
whole
about?
seams. So he's coming out with another Avatar.
Yeah.
There's going to be like 6 Avatars, by the way.
No way.
Yes.
It's been like 6 years.
Dude.
But he's
that guy.
He nitpicks that much.
Do you realize how long he spent on Avatar? That was a huge budget. That movie may have been $1 billion movie, but the problem is that he spent so much making it.
He spent $999 million.
Yeah.
That was a long movie.
It was a very long movie.
Great movie.
But yeah, the next one's going to be like mostly underwater, and he's not building tanks and going underwater. He's going under the actual ocean with submarines and filming all this stuff with this expensive equipment.
Have you ever seen the South Park episode where he has to dive under to raise the bar?
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it.
Why are the blue people in the water?
It's a different planet,
it's a
if I'm not
different
mistaken.
thing.
Like these avatars are going to be it's going to be like a spanning galaxy. Basically, it's going to continue building on each other.
They're not on Pandora.
There's so much I want to know now. Like, is it
just gonna have to watch the
It's
movie.
gonna be the same story
You're
plot.
Actually, once again, James Cameron does not give a lot of information.
He hasn't told us shit. He just
the
told
mere
us
fact
that it's underwater.
it was underwater. It's the mere fact that he's spending all this money filming underwater that we go, oh, I guess it's going to be
And the only
underwater.
reason we know about that is because there were so many. He's been spending a lot of money on deep sea research, hasn't he?
Yeah.
See, but I kind of applaud him on that because it's not just about the money.
Well, that's the thing about James Cameron.
It's about a legacy.
He cares about the legacy and the product.
Yes, what he brings you is just, and even if you don't like the movie Avatar, you have to admit that it was.
Show me.
As far as
Who didn't like it?
I don't know.
But
as far as like the beauty of what you're seeing, it was very well, beautifully.
You didn't like it?
You hate it?
No. I liked it a lot. I just thought it was a little weird that they were they're
Blue.
they were getting a little freaky with the animals.
Yeah, that's kind of rough.
Wait, you think they're animals?
Huh?
You think they were animals?
No, they're getting freaky with the animals. Or all the creatures around them, they were getting a little, they were putting their stuff together.
Listen, if we just tie hair together.
Yeah. Well, that was how they made love.
Was it love making, or they just connect each other's minds?
You get the.
You're bringing your human concepts to an alien.
Fucking feminist. We don't make love. We just connect our souls. We connect our minds.
I didn't see no baby get made.
I'm just saying they were rolling around and everything was real. And then they put their hair together and it was like, and then they did the same thing to the animals.
What was that movie?
That'd suck if they was going bald like me.
Your beard would.
Yeah. Give me back.
What movie was that? It wasn't the Judge Dredd movie. It was Demolition Man. Remember Demolition Man? They put on the visor and had sex through the visor. You sit down, youngin.
Nope. That's as old as me. He's just better
watched it.
culture.
Yeah, but he watched the '80s action movies. It was a Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes. It was a good
There's something to
movie.
be said about the '80s action movies because they were so cheesy.
There was a cheesiness, but in a way that bled through as honest. You know,
Right.
I mean, but yeah,
The RoboCop movie will always be one of my favorites, but it's so cheesy. And
super cheesy now if you watch it.
And
Didn't
they all had catchphrases.
Didn't the reboot suck? The RoboCop reboot, did it hit? Or?
It didn't suck as bad as I thought.
It didn't suck. It's just not a lot of people went and watched it. Seriously, it didn't suck. It's just not a lot of people went out and watched it.
A lot of people got pissed because they didn't go the same route.
Yeah.
They kind of did.
But why watch the same movie twice?
I don't know. Ask Star Wars.
Thank you. Thank you. And I know that was shade.
Got away with it 3 times.
That was shade.
The same story arc. The same.
But look, this the kicker though. People like stuff that's done over and over the same way because
I love Star Wars, but don't do it again.
What was it? The
but
last
just think about it.
podcast I was talking about J.K. Rowling. You know, people don't realize how much she stole from the Bible. Like when she did the Harry Potter series, she straight up ripped the Bible so many times.
But just think about this. Jordan never remake his shoes. He just put different colors on them, and people still go buy them as they brand new.
Oh yeah, or brings it back.
Yeah,
Nike does that too, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna purposely stop making a shoe for a few years,
and then bring it back, add a couple more colors to it, and it's a new shoe. $250.
I met this dude in the Air Force that is such a sneakerhead. He knows every single Jordan model that's come out since the '90s.
There was guys,
and they all look the same.
And he had this pair that he was like nuts over. Like if he wouldn't let anyone get like close to his feet, and he kept them like tucked up under him whenever he sat down in class.
Yeah,
because they were he told me they were like these are '93 Jordans with the Bugs Bunny commercial or some shit. I don't remember.
The Space Jams.
Yeah, whatever.
Space Jam was the shit.
I used to love that movie.
But guess what? That was the '93 version, right?
I don't remember.
They just remade them again last year.
Did they?
Added a new color to them. Made the bottom of them see through. That's a new shoe, $300.
So
$350.
the people that he was talking about Tree 50, the people who were talking about blowing money. There was a guy, no joke, in Kuwait. Like, we didn't have separate rooms. We were just a big room separated by lockers. Like, we built locker walls. And at the top of his thing was just sneakers after sneakers after sneakers. Like, he spent all of his money
on shoes.
It's like
all of his money. Like, to the point to where, like, me, I own 5 pairs of shoes. I can't get through all of them in a week.
Right.
You know, this guy has so many shoes.
You could say that he robbed a bank.
Oh,
No,
but
y'all
you know
get that.
what I do is I make a lot of miniature collections. Like you saw my, and I also have some money collections. You know, that I collect and coins, and I collect a lot of little things. He'll tell you I'm a man of like, I put on like 30 different hats.
You know the difference between that though? The value increases on that.
Over time, this will continue to increase, especially considering I leave it in a case. I leave
Wouldn't
it
the
alone.
value on shoes go up too?
No, when you wear them,
What if you don't wear
that's
them?
just like a brand new car. Go get a brand new car, drive off the lot.
I hate the concept of
lose
new
10%,
cars. I hate
lose
the
10%
concept
of the
it.
value just driving off the lot.
Really?
Yes.
So what if you?
The Cadillac decreases about 40%.
Yeah,
Cadillac's huge.
Hold on.
It's 40%, isn't it?
Hey, BMW is like 45.
No shit.
Yeah. People go out and buy brand new BMWs. Yeah, you just rip yourself because you drive off the lot.
Jay, we about to go full circle into that conversation I had earlier when I started to get pissed off.
Oh yeah. But I'm just saying though, like the stuff he's buying and collecting, it increases in value.
Yeah, but I hear people, I can't wait to get a new car. Like, and they're talking about new. And I'm like, why would you buy a new car? You could buy a 2015 model with 20,000 miles, and you could save $10,000.
And guess what? You can go and sell it for that same price.
Yeah, you're gonna get your use. So that little green truck.
Yeah.
There, right there. It's an 11-year-old truck.
Oh yeah.
105,000 miles on it. I can't bring myself to get rid of it at this point.
Right.
Pay it off. It just.
I mean, it's also a Nissan, so
it'll run forever.
Yeah,
But that's the other thing. I chose a vehicle.
That's a 400,000 mile truck.
Yeah, as long as you take care of it. And,
Right.
and there are people that, let me buy that from you. No.
Yeah, because they know.
Yeah, they know. I know, too, though. That's the thing. I made an informed decision when I bought it.
I mean, yeah, you're going to have to, like, change the
7 years ago, 8 years ago.
You see Dylan, you expect him to drive something fast.
Yeah, opposite. Complete opposite.
Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, me and Matt both twisted his arm into that nice of a vehicle.
Yeah.
That is a true story. Like, he was sending us pictures of what he wanted.
Yeah.
And he just so happened to send us that one. He goes, "This one's really nice, but it's too much." And we was like, "No,
you were like,
that
"Dylan, just
one.
get it."
You're gonna drive." I mean, he drives everywhere for these tournaments and stuff. It's like, get that one.
And I do not regret it. I absolutely love
and
that
drive
car.
everywhere for work.
He knew his transmission was going out, and he goes, "I'm gonna go to Dallas."
No, not
No,
Dallas.
New Mexico.
No, New Mexico.
It was New Mexico.
I took my
Knew it was
03
going out.
Toyota Avalon with 300,000 miles. I knew she was pushing the end of her life, and I got
Literally on the phone with me.
I got every penny. I made it an hour and a half outside of El Paso.
Literally
broke down on the side of the road. Transmission just shot.
Literally on the phone with me. He doesn't know anything about cars.
I get Lily to drive out an hour to pick me up, and took the license plate off.
That's a wrap.
Jumped it.
And he was like, "What's it mean whenever your RPMs are going just like?" And I was like, "That means your transmission's going out, bud." And he goes, "Oh, well, I'm only going 60 now." I'm like, "Okay, well, you're gonna hit about 55, and then that's gonna be done, and it's gonna be like 45, and that's gonna be done."
And like just.
Yeah, every one of those gears are just flying apart inside of the vehicle.
Hey, got every dollar out of that puppy.
But see, that's what make you different. Because most people, once they have 1 or 2 problems out of a car, I'm going to get something
Mine
else.
was shaking. It was shaking bad for about 6 months.
You're looking like a stripper.
I'd have let him borrow my truck.
I mean, it was so old, and then it sat up for a year while I was deployed, and then even that, I had to put money into it to keep it going, and I figured I'd just run it until it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's stick on that for a moment, though. We can say this out loud. You deployed, saved virtually every penny. I couldn't even hardly get you to go, buy a burger, right?
DFAC food was free.
Yeah, I mean, very, very.
See how you think?
Now, part of that is because you grew up poor,
Yeah, absolutely.
right? And so you
what?
decided to do the opposite of what a lot of poor people do once they get money.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that. I grew up poor. A lot of poor people get money and spend it.
I'm going to get everything I've never had.
Yeah.
But you decided to go the opposite way of that. Now, what would you say, was there a moment whenever do you remember ever having a conscious thought about your frugalness, or?
I've always had it, and it's because I understood need. Like, so whenever I was young and I'd give an aunt or something, she'd give me $15, $20 for my birthday. I never went out and bought things right away. I mean, every now and then I get a little action figure or something, but I always knew that this $20 is, I'm going to need this whenever the water bill's not getting paid, or I'm going to need this whenever I need to pay my school fees, because even public schools is $15-$20 school fees. You got
$30 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm noticing that.
Actually, I'm lying. It's $30 for the school fee. Then you have to buy your PE uniform, which is $15.
I mean, what am I doing with my taxes? What am I doing? Where are my taxes going?
Yeah,
look,
but
you know what I mean?
yeah. So I mean, there's always that. I might need this. I never know when this is gonna be necessary. So I'd nest egg it, and I nest egg it, and I nest egg it.
Did you ever have a thought about? I mean, I don't know you.
Yeah.
Did you grow up? Would you consider yourself growing up poor? Or?
I wouldn't say.
All right.
Yeah.
Your mom worked a lot of jobs. She made it happen.
Yeah, but see, like my mom has somewhat of a gambling issue.
Uh-huh.
So I've been without lights and water and things of that nature. I've been house to house. That's why I said I've been in several different schools. But I would say kind of poor though.
Yeah. Well, I mean
see,
that's.
But see, I'm not total opposite from Dylan, but I'm opposite from to the point where I still don't know how to save. Like talking about, like I'm okay, but not well enough to say that I've saved up money.
It's a habit. Saving is a. I mean, it's literally a habit. You know.
And sometimes it can be a bad habit, and that's something I've experienced. And that sounds a little like contradictory, but I've been to the point where, and even now, I'll catch myself and I work. My wife works. Like we make good. She makes good money. I make decent money. Like everything's taken care of. The cars, the apartment, everything. But it's like I still catch myself when I go to buy, and this is going to sound ridiculous, when I go to buy a candy bar, if I want this and I want this one, I want both of these, which one should I get? This one has this many ounces for this much. And we're talking, and you know, that's
real talk.
That's
I've seen him do it.
That's
No, I mean that's why I'm wanting to say it out loud, because
Yeah.
I mean I've observed it too. I've observed it over the years.
and that's embarrassing whenever you're talking about.
It's not embarrassing, man.
When you're talking about 13 cents, and I'm looking at
Ounces.
0.2 ounces more of chocolate. Now, I might have wanted the Butterfinger more than I wanted the M&Ms, but now I'm, and this is where I talk about it being an issue, I'm micromanaging and going through decisions.
That 13 cents are not going to come up on anything.
It is not worth the time I spent on that. And now I'm at a point where I'm, okay, I need to pull back. Like I need to stop thinking about this. I need to stop looking at the cents difference between this one and this one whenever it's on that level, because now I'm causing myself unnecessary anxiety, unnecessary pain. I mean, and it's not like, oh, it's like, man, that moment where I had to think about that really sucked. Like that drug me down. No, but you have what's called a certain, I don't know how to put it.
Decision fatigue. Is that what we're
decision
talking about?
fatigue? Yes. And I don't know the exact science behind it, but I feel that whenever I'm stressing over a lot of things, and that's one less thing to stress over whenever you're trying to decide how many ounces of chocolate for how many cents. And then that goes into buying food and other things like that. Now I'm micromanaging everything whenever I should let that go.
Like, Dylan can easily stop and grab him something to eat. But he'll come to work knowing he's tired of that food and be like, hey, Jay, what's in here that I can eat that I haven't ate? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, dude, just throw me something together. Just give me some veggies and lettuce and stuff. Like, what? But he's that tight. Yeah. He's that tight.
And you know, one thing I'm glad I'm good about, I'm not that way with Lily. Like when I take her out, like I don't stress it. And I think that's the compassion will override the frugality.
Well, no, I think what it is that you're the older brother.
Yeah.
You knew how to give to you're a giver.
Yeah.
But but you're the mother hen giver. You collect it all, never use it for yourself.
And I think that's one bad thing about it.
Right.
I think you
too far, right? Yeah. Too far. Well, that's the thing, though, is everything's good. It's a habit. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if you have a habit of doing this, that's good. But if that habit that's okay. Sometimes some habits are okay. But if you take that habit too far, then you need
Because you'll make Lily question what she should spend on you because you're so tight.
Yeah.
So I think you shouldn't do it for yourself.
Yeah,
give
you don't know how to
give
be
her the
grateful.
leeway to splurge on you because you deserve it, bro.
Which so let me ask you this. she buys you a $40 shirt. How do you feel?
He's going to the hospital.
I really don't. Like she's bought me a shirt before, but I mean I have all the shirts I need. So
no, I'm just saying yeah. But what I'm saying is, not even like a birthday. She just gets a $40.
No. She did make me buy that, or she did buy me that freaking polo for yeah.
And how did you feel? Lily, don't listen. Cover your ears, woman.
It was stressful.
Right. And what I'm saying is you got to learn how to be grateful.
Most people,
because I didn't need it though.
Yeah,
I already had a polo.
But most people base their relationships off equity now.
Yes, which is
like it's makes sense, but at the same time it's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like you should just do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As long as you're both happy, that's how I see it.
I'll tell you what. One thing, and you go back into this. One thing that is very hard for people that grow up poor is being minimalist.
Mm-hmm.
It is very hard because how many times do you have? You grow up and it's like, crap, I don't know when I could use this, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep this because I never know when I'm gonna use this.
I got some tax forms inside them manila envelopes you're seeing up there. There's no way I'll ever need to prove those taxes.
But God,
I cannot get rid of it.
Yeah.
I can't.
My wife like that. We got tax forms when we first started dating. We've been together 9 years.
Well, tax forms aren't a big deal. That's paper. You can keep that in a tight spot. But I'm talking about others.
There's some video games in there that I don't have the system for.
Well, I know a guy that has a Sonic ice maker, like from Sonic, and he just has it, and it's not even plugged in or anything, and it's just sitting in a storage shed. I'm like,
gotta get that crushed ice.
Minimalism.
And he just has it.
Minimalism has done so much for my life. Like it frees you in ways you can't understand. And about every 2 months, I've got a little chest of old memory things and knickknacks, and I'll go back through it. And every 2 months, I'll make sure I take at least 2 things out, and I'm like, I don't really need that anymore, or that doesn't really do anything for me. Like. Or something that I was holding on to. Like, I had a Shady Grove yearbook.
Except for his
I had a Shady Grove yearbook.
medals.
Yeah. I had a Shady Grove yearbook, and I wasn't even in it because we moved schools so much that I got into the school too late, and I just had it, and it had some of my teachers and all my classmates, and it said Dylan Fraley, and there was a blank face where my picture should have been.
Yeah.
And I had been holding on to that. And it's like, didn't do nothing for me.
Yeah.
Like, why do I even have this?
Definitely don't do anything positive, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing that's brought up positive in any of those emotions.
And so I was like, I'm holding on to this. It doesn't do anything. Throw it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
I mean, and people holding on to, and everybody talks about memories and memories and memories. Like, oh, I got this box full of stuff from my mom whenever my mom died. Yeah, and it's taped up, and you haven't been in that thing in 2-3 years. Yeah. Like, that's taking up space.
I'm going to tell you something crazy. I don't have any pictures of me as a kid. Not one. I can't tell you what I looked like when I was little.
I have maybe 5.
But your mom has a ton.
No, I'm talking about she has maybe like 5.
Really?
My mom has 0. I don't have any. My mom, like, no memories of when I was younger.
The only reason I have pictures really for me is because of the church directory. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Everybody's that couldn't even be used nowadays, right? People's phone numbers, everybody changing their phone numbers too much.
Yeah,
that's sad for me though. I'm a big picture guy. I love pictures. Like I take. We're walking down after the tournament this weekend. We walked down Bourbon Street for the first time, and I had to get a picture.
Was New Orleans?
Yes. Yeah, it was. By the way, I talked to. I mean, when I got off the phone with you, I mean, Freddie was literally buzzing in. And
he sent me that picture of him and everybody. Yeah. I'm like, I only know him and Lily. I don't know these other 2 people.
It's my little brother. Little brother Mike.
Well, you did meet his little brother that's not little.
The crazy part is, the last time I saw him, he didn't look like that.
Yeah.
At all.
Oh, right?
Yeah, right? Like at all. Last time I saw him, he was what, a freshman?
Yeah. And he was still big.
Yeah, like, he was big, but
he
wasn't
that big.
Like that. Yeah. I looked at him like, who the hell is
this guy? He's just a little pimp. Love that dude.
Yeah, I hope that listen. I hope he's listening.
He's not.
I know he's not. That's just like
he's not a podcast guy.
I understand. I've found that there's some people that just can't listen to voices. You know, they can't talk. They can't even listen to like news radio. So
the news tone or the news cadence is horrible.
I always hated it until I found out like about actual podcasts
like
with
conversation.
With conversation I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Because Rock 106 used to drive me crazy. Like anytime I try to listen to it, and it was
you mean
just
Lex
them.
And Terry?
Yeah, just them talking.
The
I hated it
syndications.
so much.
I hope he understands that like there's no way he should stop jiu-jitsu. Same thing for you, Matt. Yeah, I didn't come off my conversation.
Okay.
You the one that jumped over.
Leaving people, and
nah, you the one that derailed.
I know, but I gotta put it back on.
Okay,
That's
good.
why
I'm glad you're back.
Trying to set the train back.
But
Brandon's a natural athlete.
He's a natural athlete.
Very natural.
Same thing with Matt.
Very gifted athlete.
You know, you're a natural athlete. Y'all don't stop. Don't quit.
Dylan is a natural athlete.
Trust the 30-year-old guy sitting here.
You 30?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I would never thought that.
How's it look?
About my age.
He's got some pepper on the side.
Yeah. If I let the hair, there's a reason. I don't just keep the military haircut because I'm still in the military. It's keep that little salt out.
My wife's 32.
That's the thing that gives it away.
Because she's looking.
You 32?
She just messaged me a minute ago.
Telling
me a horrible lie.
Horrible lie?
Yeah. Oh, baby, look nice. I'm like, no, I look fat.
She watching you?
Yeah.
Oh, she found you?
She made sure for us to find it before I left the house.
Nice. Yeah, and this
She's
is
very
live,
supportive.
so it's going.
Yeah.
I blew the kiss first, Jay.
You're a great
Hey,
person. Thank
hey.
you for letting me steal him away for a Sunday.
Your wife told me I was handsome, so
You are handsome.
I appreciate that. I'm ugly but cute.
Nah, man, that beard is sexy.
I like
I know,
the beard.
right? Appreciate it. I
like
work
the
hard
beard.
on them.
Yeah. Do you use any beard moisturizer or anything like that?
yep.
Yeah. Okay. Hey,
She trying
Rock
to
too.
buy me a little kit, but I won't let her.
Nah, I don't like. I got some beard oil too.
yeah.
Yeah.
You use oil or some kind of?
I use oil.
Yeah, I like
It's,
the oil. Makes it soft.
I use a razor.
Dr. Miracle or whatever it's called.
I used this stuff called Gibbs.
Yeah,
Gibbs.
I'm gonna have to try that one.
Guys into beard stuff.
Yeah.
I shave with a straight razor. That's about.
There are other beard oil products available. We are not sponsored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go see Zach. He's got rain care. It's good stuff. There we go. Plug a local guy. No, but don't stop. Because here's the thing. As you get older, as life falls away, and that's the thing. That's what happens. Is you get to go on grand adventures when you're young, and you think that's what life is. You think that the experience of going and doing things and living life is what's life. Oh, I'm living life right now. But what is truly life is the skill set, and I'm not going to say experience, the skill sets that you have learned from that. And what I mean by skill sets is, I can't run like I used to run, but at least I know how to run. I can't dance like I used to could dance, but at least I know how to dance, if you want to put it to a southern colloquialism. So, and I guess that's kind of out there to everybody, go out there and learn. Break a few bones, break a sweat, I don't care. Go learn. Go learn the hard way.
Yeah.
Go learn the hard way. Don't just watch the YouTube video and copy what that guy did.
Yeah.
Watch a few YouTube videos, see how several people did it, and then go find your way of doing it.
Yeah.
You want to go. I'll even be crazy because me and Matt's talked about this before, but you want to be a blacksmith? You want to build swords for a living? Hey, man, YouTube is a great source to see how to do that now. All over the world, these guys are, out there building backyard forges, doing stuff. And it's incredible stuff.
You can learn 4 languages.
You can learn Get out there and learn, because when they put dirt over you,
It's a wrap.
that's a wrap. So all you're going to have is these skill sets to hand off.
You won't even have the. Well, the handoff.
The handoff. That's what I'm talking about. Because here's the thing.
The impact.
The
handoff,
impact.
the impact on that one guy. This all goes.
So
full circle.
I need to know these things in order to even have these conversations with people.
Right.
The experience is for you, and the impact is for everyone around you, so that they can have the experience.
And this is.
I don't think the experience isn't like. You say the important thing is the impact and the knowledge that you could pass on, but I think the reason to pass on that knowledge is that so they can have the experience, and the reason to live is for those. Because
not everybody's dealt the same hand, okay? And nor will everybody ever be dealt the same set of cards. I don't care. What I care is, can I at least slide one stepping stone towards you?
Right.
Okay, man. Look, Life, yeah, it's tough. Here's one stepping stone. Climb on that one, and then we'll go from there.
And you find your own way from there.
Because that's what matters.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
Yeah? No?
That whole section was powerful.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was feeling that, man.
Don't you quit jiu-jitsu, you motherfucker.
Jay was feeling it.
I was.
I also was feeling how Brock was eyeing Dylan's hand the whole time.
Look, I need stuff to do sometimes.
That's part of the reason
But I
why
was
it's
listening.
here.
But I was definitely
No,
listening.
I don't care. Look, I am the king of ADD. I don't make eye contact all the time, and I listen to people. Drives my girlfriend crazy.
I don't either. Look, I fuss at my wife for it, but I can't do it either. Like,
And I fuss at my kids. Look at me. Look, eye contact.
You don't look at me.
so when they look at you like, yeah. So what I was saying was,
And you glance back at them. Look at me.
oh, you wasn't looking the first time.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like, I guess to even talk about that, you know, I'm an ADD, scatterbrained. You know, some people don't look at me and they think that, but I'm a scatterbrained dude. I'm in 15 different
Anybody that
directions at
knows
once.
you know that's exactly.
Yeah.
That comes out in your personality.
Yeah.
There's nothing Brock doesn't know at least one fact about.
But that's the thing. How I filled that void, if you will, or that hurdle in my life.
Right.
Because some people, ADD is a disease. No, I actually have an edge. Because I can bounce. I can bounce all over the place. You can't keep up.
Right.
Like a
That's
bouncy
how I
ball.
choose to look at it.
But it's always like with Brock, either he hasn't ever heard about it ever, and it's just not it. Like there's no way, or if it's like but if he hasn't heard about it, it's like, oh hey, did you hear about this new training regimen? And he's just like, no, what's it called? And you tell him the name, he's just
Yeah, I have to know now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stacks of books in there and there's even more stacks of books at my parents' house and things like that. Like I was consumed with books as a young man, but that's how I filled it.
Right.
That's how I worked it to
Controlled
my
it.
advantage.
Yeah.
Yes, I had to know. I had to fill me. You know, and I have a daughter, one in particular, Arwen. She's all over the place, man. I
Right.
see it. Beautiful little social butterfly, right?
Right.
No social anxiety, everybody's a friend, but she has problems paying attention. I see it. I'm like, I understand what's going on right there. Now, I could have either chose my whole life to make it a crutch, and I spent years as a teenager angry about it, angry that people wasn't keeping up with me, that people didn't understand how I was bouncing around. Oh, you're just a know-it-all. Quit being stupid. Sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the worst thing you can do.
Oh. And so, there was anger in me, even as a teenager. And so I spent years trying to solve it myself because no one else was even helping me. And there are times that I'm like, well, at least I can help her.
Right.
I can slide that block to my child.
Right.
Look, here's ways to deal with it. Here's ways to go about it. They're talking in class about English, and you really can't. It's not. You're not going to be able to comprehend it because the droning of English. Here's ways that you can teach yourself to it.
Yeah.
I still sing prepositional phrases to myself.
Right.
The little songs and things like that, and creating things to being songs, learning memory palaces, even
Acronyms.
building. Yeah, because I had to make it a game for myself.
Right.
And if
These
I made
games
it a
are fun.
game, yes, if I made it a game,
fun.
now I'm involved. You
Right.
know.
I had a teacher like that. I'm terrible at science.
Mhm.
Hate science. I don't like nothing about it.
The
I
earth is
had
flat.
Oh. I'm not that
Shut
guy.
up.
But I had a teacher that made it fun for me, but it took me to my 10th grade year to understand that, you got to make it fun for yourself. That's all, like we all got to find things in life that helps us adjust to certain things.
Work.
Right, like work. Honestly, like I don't particularly love my job right now. I mean,
You don't have to.
right, but I find things that make me enjoy, like you know what I mean, like going to work. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
it's Monday through Thursday. I get to kick it with Dylan. It's my guy right here. Honestly, he's not at work on Friday, so Friday I gotta find another reason to want to be at work.
But you just said it. Find your reason.
Find your reason.
Even if
Find
it's
your
going
Make
in
one.
that room with that kid while they're still asleep and
Right.
just staring at them for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And put it in your mind. That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or stare at your trophy wall for 5 minutes. That's why I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? That find that thing, put it in front of you, stare at it. That's why I'm doing this.
That's why I'm doing it. Yeah.
Because there's, and I say it all the time, and here probably to the point that I'm becoming repetitive, existence is pain, right?
Yeah.
Nothing in life is comfortable.
I'm going to go back and see how many times you said that on this podcast.
I don't know, but I just need people to understand nothing is comfortable.
It's not.
You sit on that couch all day, you'll feel comfortable until a week.
Get up.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you get up, oh, goodness.
Ow! Oh. So if your back's gonna hurt, at least make it hurt for a reason.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody go find a 50-year-old that won't tell you their back hurts for some reason if they do certain things.
Yeah. My mom has knee issues. She can't sit down for a long period of time without
tear down.
Oh yeah.
You might as well make it for a reason.
Yeah.
You might as well make it for a reason.
Get the most out of it. A lot of people are afraid to take those chances and those risks because they're afraid of failure.
But what is failure?
Failure is what make you.
Name one famous person
that didn't fail first.
And that won't tell you, keep going, keep failing.
How many times they failed?
Yeah.
They all fail.
Fail forward.
You fail forward. Yeah. You don't fall forward, you fell forward.
But a lot of people look at it, failure is like, maybe
That's
I should try.
end. Yeah.
Maybe I should try something different. No.
Yeah.
Honestly, my first year coaching, I coached for free. I didn't get paid a cent. But it was a passion, it's something I love, and something I kept pushing for because it's something I want. I'm not doing this for nobody else. I'm doing it for me.
And now they pay you for it.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at it, you don't make a lot of money coaching.
You don't make a lot of money doing jiu-jitsu.
But it's something you gotta love it, and I love every bit of it.
Yeah, no, I mean that's right. And your first book that you write may not make any money.
Yeah.
Probably not, right? Probably not. If we're just being honest, rolling it out.
This podcast probably won't make us a whole lot of money.
Right.
Yeah, but
unless you like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Look out for my boy. But, like the black guys looking us right now.
like, subscribe.
Yeah.
But we all have something that we want in life. Everybody. But some people give up on it just off the simple fact of the matter that they don't want to accept the failure that can come with it. So let me find an easier way and something easier that I can do that I can just be okay with.
Yeah, because you're not exposing yourself. Because if you really tried something and failed, like, you're pretty open.
Yeah.
Like, people saw a lot of you in that.
Yeah.
Accept that failure, too.
A lot of people don't want to be that vulnerable.
Yeah. And it took me a long time to accept that because I used to be a real shy person. Didn't talk much. Wasn't big on I love yous. And one thing broke me. My grandmother passed away. My whole life, I never remember telling her I love her until the day she was on her deathbed and she couldn't say it back. So now I'm open to everybody. Look, dude, I love you. Dylan tell you, when I get to work, love you, bro. What's up, man? What's going on? When I get ready to leave, oh, love you, bro. I'll see you later.
But there was a moment of regret, right?
Yeah.
That made that case.
That made that case because that feeling. I never want that feeling ever again.
And you don't want that for your son,
for
right?
My son, for my daughter, for my wife.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't want it.
Never.
And life sometimes is full of hard lessons.
Yeah.
But take your hard lesson
and pass it on.
Yeah. But at the same time, and I can't stress this enough, at some point when they're old enough, whenever they're in a place to understand, please have people understand that it was a hard lesson.
Oh yeah.
Don't just give things.
Yeah. No, everything I tell someone, it has a story behind it.
And that's the way it should be, because if not, what are we without our ethos, right? And our mythos. Just to touch on, philosophy, I guess, just for a minute. There's a reason why we have these ancient stories,
right,
with these ancient heroes.
Mm-hmm.
We were trying to convey the human condition.
Yeah.
And the human condition's never been easy.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something else that's crazy though. We all look for something to believe in, no matter what it is.
Don't care who you are either.
Yeah.
You need something to believe in.
You need something to believe in.
Even if it's your science.
Because,
God, yourself.
Just think about it. With football, if you didn't believe that you would make money off of it, who would go out there and risk their life like that?
It's true.
I mean, Like, I mean, you just got to have something to believe in. Like, Dylan believes that he's the best and he will be the best, and I believe it. But if he didn't believe that, why would he go out there and come to work with shiners and things of that nature? Like,
banged up.
You know what I mean? Like, who would
limping.
do that? Who would do that? You got to have something to believe in.
And that's the other thing, right? I mean, and there's also something to be said about him not being a braggart about it.
Oh,
like,
man.
it's us that talks about it, not him.
Until you talk to him for a while,
well,
and then it slips
but then
out.
it's in a in a quiet place, an introspective talk.
I haven't accomplished enough to.
And see,
yeah.
There's people that would be beyond happy doing what he's done.
An amateur though.
I beat the number 5 amateur in the state.
Yeah, but I was at practice.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was at practice the other day talking about you, and none of them know you. Nobody up there. They was like, who? My friend Dylan. Dude, a beast, man.
Mm-hmm.
He only had 3 fights, but in my mind, it's the baddest man on the planet because I believe in him. You know what I mean? Like, we all have something. We got to believe in something and somebody. And when it comes, I don't know nothing about MMA, but I know he fights.
His passion is so big that
it rubs off on me.
That you began to go, whoa, what's this all about?
I share everything he posts when it comes to his fights.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know nothing about it. I'm being honest. I mean, that picture over there, I don't think I know Dylan on that picture. And I'm finna share it. Because I want somebody else to know about my guy.
That's right. Hey, and you know, I was a jiu-jitsu guy, and I'm still not the biggest MMA guy, right? I mean, I can talk it pretty in depth, but I'm not. And every time Dylan puts me to shame about knowing these guys' statistics and who he lost to and why he is on that place in the rankings.
Why it was a win and not a loss.
Right, right, yeah. And he'll come up with the stats, Brock. These were the stats. This is what they were looking at. And I'm like, but, you know, his passion is so deep that it makes me have to dig deeper to keep up, you know? Yeah. I mean, I'm a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. Dylan still makes me get up and go. Right. So I'm like, well, Dylan's there. Right. I can't not go.
Always there.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and there's times.
I'm there so much. I got a text Saturday, and somebody was like, where were you at? What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm actually competing down in Dallas.
Like, and when I finally talked to him Saturday, I was like, where are you? Yeah. You know, I didn't know.
Still called it.
You know, but yeah. And that was what it was. Is, you know, I had a newborn baby. We hadn't communicated as much as we normally do. Whatever. But, yeah, there's this thing, you know, 5 o'clock at the end of the day. I've thrown weapon racks around all day. I've sat at a desk and done both. So now my back's really jacked up because I did really hard exercise and I went and sat down and Dylan's going to be there. Yep. I better get up and go.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
that dude
he's not going to accept me. Yeah, he's not going to accept I was a little sore. And he'd be like, you were sore? You don't know the meaning of the word sore.
He ripped a girl so bad one day at work. She at work, and she said she was tired. He was like, tired? I've been up. It was so funny.
This was halfway through camp. She's like, I'm so tired. I'm like, do you know what I did at 7 o'clock this morning? I did this. And then we did this, and then we did this. My warm-up was more than you'll do before the day's over.
Look, she walked away. He was still talking. Like, he let her have it. And I'm just in the kitchen laughing like, oh, my God.
That's what those moments where I was talking about being salty.
He just reached over and just pulled that soapbox right up.
She had no idea.
She's so sweet, too. I didn't mean to do that to her.
Yeah, man.
Was that Peyton?
That was Peyton. She walked in like, I'm so tired.
Apologize to Peyton.
Sorry, Peyton.
Like, he was like, I'm so tired. She was like, I'm so tired. And he was walking towards, like, the chip machine.
Wasn't even his conversation.
Yeah. She wasn't even talking to him. He was like, I'm so tired. What? You're tired? You have no idea what it feels like to be tired.
But you know what? And let's say something in that second. You have 2 ways to take that. You can either get offended or you can step up.
It'll make you grind.
Yep, make you grind. And you should choose in life
to grind.
She didn't talk about being tired the rest of the day.
Matter of fact, I ain't never heard her say being tired ever again.
Just wiped it out of her vocabulary, especially around that workplace.
She was like, tired. She ready to go.
What kills me is, like, I say it to her, but I know there's some guys out there that when I say I'm tired, I know they could fucking turn on me. So I'm like, fuck,
the Jockos of this world.
Yeah, it's like, or even the Johns. Like, it's like, I need to shut the fuck up. Like,
But that's all, you
I've
know.
never met John, and I'm terrified of him. Just from the stories that Dylan kept telling him, like, yeah, fucking John, man.
You can always come try a week free.
He's a beast.
We weren't running, man.
Yeah.
We had to keep up a certain pace. And I'm like, what pace?
You don't know a beast until you met my coach. This dude is the hardest working human being I've ever met.
Yeah.
And that's all we'll say about that. I ain't gonna ride on his dick or anything. It's the hardest working motherfucker there is.
That's awesome.
Day in, day out.
Yeah.
Like, there's some people that
Morning,
you know,
night.
there's some people that you look and they give like a good 2 or 3 days a week.
Yeah.
You know, him, there is no off day really.
Right.
There is no off day, and then you look at the schedule of it and you're like,
It reminds me, like, it's my shake. The way, like, I kind of did Peyton, like, it's sitting in my head. And he didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
yeah.
You just see him in the morning. And, like, when I talk about pull of sweat, like, you see the way I sweat and you see the way we sweat. Like, it's like, fuck, dude, y'all are losing 4 or 5 pounds every morning. And then you look over at somebody who put on a water hose on the floor next to the pull-up bar. And it's absolutely ridiculous because he just went harder than anyone's went all week for 10 minutes
And
straight.
at 8 p.m., he's going to be going harder than anyone else.
That's the thing, though. But that's what make you respect them even more so.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody put a workout on the board and just leave. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take that shit serious.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you look over there and see he going just as hard. Man, I gotta go do it. I gotta go get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to write their workout down. It's hard to do it.
It's the truth.
And he writes down the ones that are easy for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he writes it down and then does more than it. I've seen him do it. But, and I guess, here's the thing. I look for in life, there's no such thing as a universal truth, but there is some universal yeses. I'm going to put it that way. And when you look at certain things like that, like I said, there's 2 ways to take moments like that: be offended or get back to the grind. Shut up and just do it. You know, if you just follow these rules, these paths, you know, of just get in there, just dig it. It's no one's fault. Yes, life sucks.
Yeah.
If you just follow these things, the good things will happen.
Oh yeah.
Not going to happen tomorrow.
No.
Not going to happen a month from now. What's
Right.
going to happen is you're going to look up and you're going to go, oh, it's a little easier.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm in a little better spot. You know,
Yeah.
it's,
Oh yeah. It's that little improvement what makes it cool.
yeah, and the little improvements in life are going to be what you have.
Oh yeah. If it was meant to happen overnight, then nobody would take anything in life serious.
So is there anything in your book, or is there anything in your notes about your books that you'd like to share? I mean, is there anything that you want to talk about from it?
The biggest thing that the majority of the book is just about accepting the failures.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, just think about it. If everything in life was easy, it would be nothing worth grinding for. So accepting all the failures, because the failures in life honestly mean a lot more than the success, because of the simple fact that you see where you come from to get to this point. You know what I mean? Like, so many people look at it and say, you know, I failed at this. There's no way I can get back from it. And they accept their failure, but never do anything about it. So my goal is to tell them, okay, you accept that failure. Now, how can you better yourself from it? Because we're going to fail at some point. All of us. Nobody in this world can say that I failed. I mean, that I haven't failed.
Right.
I mean, it's a given. It's something, but you need it. You need it because how can you appreciate the success if you've never, ever failed? If you've never failed. Like Floyd Mayweather, he's so cocky. But he's failed before. He's had that one loss. He never want to feel that again. So why not train? Why not go in and go hard as possible so you can never feel that again?
It's true. You know, I mean, I don't even know how that fight's going to work out.
I mean,
I don't know.
I do.
If it goes the
I do.
distance, I think I give it to Floyd.
It's not a fight. We're not talking about I'm sorry, I'm getting my soapbox. We're not talking about fighting.
Talking about boxing.
We're talking about boxing. We're not talking about lifting weights. We're not talking about bench press, squat, deadlift. We're talking about
Specialized.
just the bench press. We're talking about that only bench presses, and he has mastered the bench press for his entire life.
yeah.
And then we're talking about a guy over here who's a well-rounded weightlifter. You get him under that bench, and the other guy spent his entire life
Benching.
on form. on posture, on breathing, on not just form, posture, and breathing, but form, posture, and breathing for the bench press.
Yeah.
That's it.
See, me and him talked about it the other day. I tell you, Mayweather, beginning his career, he standing there, he'll brawl with you. But over the years, he learned, how about if I beat this guy up for 10 rounds, and then these next two, I'm just going to go and take you out. I mean, did the same thing to Pacquiao. Pacquiao fight. He beat Pacquiao up. Just sat back, bing, 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 bing. By the end of it,
I wouldn't say beat him up. He scored points.
Outscored him.
All his
That's all he was
doing. He wore him out. I mean, by the end, Pacquiao was just looking for a knockout. He didn't want to keep fighting. Yeah. Like, somebody keep punching your face like that, and there's nothing you can do. You keep missing him. By the end of the fight, you just going for a knockout. I just want to get this guy out of here.
Well, that's the science of it, right? Yeah. The easiest thing to defend is the big overhand rights that you know are coming.
Yeah.
That's one of the easiest things to defend, even in MMA, right? Is the big overhand right that you know is coming. So if I can get you, same thing with football.
Yeah.
If I can destroy your running game, now I know you're going to pass.
Yeah.
Now I know I can drop linebackers back, right? Mm-hmm. This is that same thing. If I can make you one-dimensional because I've made you get behind, now I know what to defend.
Yeah.
And that's what Mayweather's especially great at, outscoring you. He outdoes you in round 1, outdoes you in round 2, outdoes you in round 3, and then by that time your coach is like, look, you got to get something.
You got to get something.
And then round 10, he's like, look, you got to knock him out.
You got to.
You got to. And so now, you've just become more and more predictable to him.
Because once you throw that big punch, side, boop.
Oh, he throws it like this? Oh, now I really know how,
I mean, this is.
That's the goal, right? That's what Tyron Woodley just did to Damian Maia. Even though I love Damian Maia to death, he knew what Damian Maia was going to do. Practiced. Don't let that happen.
Yeah.
Love Damian Maia.
I'm so sour on Tyron Woodley.
You sour on him?
Sour.
Don't like his attitude?
I don't like anything about him.
You excited that GSP is going to fight Michael Bisping now?
I think that's way more fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like extremely cocky people.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of cocky people.
Woodley, he just bitches a lot about money, but doesn't put butts in seats. So
yeah, that's the problem. He never really delivers exciting fights. Even his fight with Wonderboy Thompson was being exciting.
No, the first fight was a blast. Did you see the first fight?
Yeah, it wasn't a blast to me. I mean, it was so predictable.
He almost ripped Stephen Wonderboy's head off. You get a minute where you've got a guy in the deepest guillotine imaginable. Like, this is so close to a finish, and you see Wonderboy's spine.
That was
separating,
that one round, though, wasn't it?
He drags it in. He's not going to stop. That whole fight was a barn burner.
I remember just the first round of that being exciting.
That whole
of it was just a ride out.
Go back and watch it.
It's been a while. So.
That whole fight was exciting. The second one was absolute garbage.
Yeah, that
all
was
5
boring.
rounds. 25 minutes of neither of these guys wanting to pull the trigger because they both saw how far it could go the other way.
That's what make for me, that's what make old school football so fun. The ground and pound, because ground and pound, and the score is 10-13.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter, 2 minutes left. Wow, what's gonna happen?
Wide open.
We're one touchdown, one good play away from this being, 17-13 game or a 20-10 game.
But
just one big play.
Just to play devil's advocate on Woodley, it also doesn't make sense for him to be the one to go out and pull the trigger since
that's what he said about Damian Maia. That's exactly the words he used about Damian Maia. That's exactly what he said about Damian Maia. He said the reason I never advanced on Damian Maia is because I advance on Damian Maia. Damian Maia grabs me, falls to the ground. Now I'm in his world.
With Damon, you can't fuck up.
Right, and that's what he was saying.
There is
I
no
can't
room to
advance.
fuck up.
All I'm going to do is continue defending him, strike him 1 or 2 times on the outside, and that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, I mean...
And you're right, because Damian Maia can take one small mistake on the ground and can make world-class jiu-jitsu guys
not even on the ground. Just you let him clinch and and hold it, and that's it.
I want to give my piece and leave it. So Damian Maia is obviously a jiu-jitsu guy. Him going in trying to take Tyron Woodley down, that's what Damian does. He does jiu-jitsu, and he's the best at it. Tyron Woodley's thing is a knockout artist. Tyron Woodley goes in there and he knocks guys
Explosive.
out. Yeah,
Knockout
he's
artist.
explosive. He's a striker. Like he's powerful. Okay, that's his thing. I think the winner of that fight should be the guy that goes in and does his thing to his best. And
Well,
Tyron
this goes
Woodley,
back to my thing of should every double leg be considered a takedown?
Yeah, Tyron Woodley couldn't do his thing at all.
No, he didn't do
And
his thing at all.
him winning shouldn't be him stopping Damian Maia from doing his thing.
But this is, like you said, octagon control.
Yeah,
20
exactly.
takedowns.
Exactly. And not 21 and
Yeah.
not 1.
Well,
It was
what?
21 and 0.
But you're approaching it with the attitude of this is a simulation of a battle to the death.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, it
No.
is why I want to bring back the first round being a 10-minute round.
well, I mean,
especially in championship fights.
well, at the end, I love that, but at the
In
end
championship
of the day,
fights?
I'd love it, but that'll never happen.
Why wouldn't it happen
One-
in championship
one does
fights?
it.
Favors grappling.
One
and
does
people
it.
get bored with grappling.
No,
It favors explosiveness in the first round.
yeah,
Yes, it
no,
does.
that favors action in the first.
Action in the first round, I should say. Explosiveness is something's got to happen.
Pace dramatically slows after 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Cardiovascular thresholds.
Slow, especially anaerobic cardiovascular
Yes.
thresholds.
Yes. And what you get is you get a lot more fights that are paced out to the real, like to a real pace. you
Yeah.
know? And I don't think people want to see that. People want to see two people sprint for 5 minutes and then sprint for 5 minutes and then sprint for 5 minutes. Because sprints are more exciting than a long run. And long runs is that's how
Would
grappling-
you
how
like
many-
watching a fight that was basically lock the doors and whenever it's over, it's over? We're not going to do rounds. We're not going to...
You say you think that'd be exciting, and
Well-
then you go back and you watch Hoist Gracie versus Ken Shamrock for an hour and a half.
I think.
But that's two submission grapplers, two top level submission grapplers.
I watched it.
I mean, I did too. Like, I'm into that, but fans aren't.
I grew up on boxing, so
Yeah.
Boxing's so fucking boring to me.
well, my uncles box.
Yeah.
All of them. I mean, my uncles are Golden Glove champs and Western Hall of Famers in
Certain
boxing. So I
certain
grew up,
boxers really entertaining. Like I love watching Lomachenko.
So I kind of grew up with the whole mindset of, the rounds and that fighting to the death thing. I think it'll get kind of dull because it will go. Somebody's gonna wear down and it's not gonna get exciting. It's gonna look sloppy.
Yeah, it starts
I think-
looking sloppy. It does.
Yeah, so I like for it to look like, I like everybody's coming out at their best at the end of this round. Okay, come out at your best at this next round and
Yeah.
the next round.
A little bit more sportive.
Yeah,
All right. It's been 2 hours, a little over 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
I've loved it. I enjoyed it. I would love to do it again.
Oh, dude, we'll have you back on.
Yeah.
Got to bring a
most
piece of
definitely.
work to
Yeah,
the
I will.
podcast.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad Dylan,
Well, be
Got
glad
you
for
on that.
Jay. Jay's one of the guys that listens to us, and he was like, "Hey,
No, I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah,
I'd
most
really like
definitely.
to get on." And I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
No,
Oh,
This
yeah.
is
Come
this
back.
is what this is
this
all
was
about.
good.
I would love it.
Ain't nothing better than an actual good conversation.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Agree with people, disagree with people, as long as it's a good
That's how I get
conversation.
through work right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, if you have something else to promote, you got something else you want to bring.
Whenever the book comes,
Yeah, I
even
mean-
if you don't come on, we'll plug it.
Most definitely. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. Let's get this wrapped up. Gorilla Banter Podcast, episode
19.
19.
Nice.
Let's wrap this up. It's been a pleasure. You bunch of dumb simians. Thank y'all. I'm Brock Washington, Dylan Fraley, Matt, say bye,
Bye bye.
and the lovely Mr. Cooper. The
Thank
power.
you.
Mr.
Appreciate
Cooper.
it. Thanks for having me.
Mr.
Ooh.
Cooper.
That sounds.
Hang up, Mr.
All right,
Cooper.
here we are. Checking out.
Yeah. All right. Till next time, fools.
We love you, Jerry.
Love you, Dylan.
Did you outro us?